Ladies and gentlemen, night, for this is a Fred Delay Productions podcast.
Good night, sweet children.
Not creepy at all. Cue the music.
I don't know what we're yelling about! We came, we saw, we kicked its ass!
Finished. I know, Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Kind of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
Who is this? What's your operating number?
Boring conversation anyway.
Whoa, we're gonna have company! Loud noises!
Hello.
Hello!
Hello.
I'm Kendall Richardson.
I'm a Fulya and Michael.
And I'm the spin on it, Michael Lister.
Gross.
And you are now experiencing a podcast called Free.
Yes, experiencing it through the mediums of new memes. I don't get these Gen Z memes now. They're too gross. I'm getting old now.
Yeah.
What happened to the lolcats?
You know. What did happen to the little cats?
No more lolcats.
Welcome.
2008 internet was just peak.
That was the early days of memeage. Memeage. Or mem, as a certain character on Only Murders in the Building calls it. Anyway, more on that very shortly.
I call them memes.
Memes. Memes. Yes. Let's just get into it, shall we?
Sure.
Yes, we're all here. It's wonderful. We love it. Let's start with you, Fulya. What have you been watching?
I've been continuing my watch of X-Men, and season 2 is now complete. I am now pretty much I think I'm at where I finished the Phoenix saga of season 3.
The 7-episode saga.
I think it was 7? No,
Something like that.
5? I think it was like 5 episodes.
And then,
It was
yeah, it was like a break in between.
Yeah. So
Oh,
it was like
episodes.
the first 2 episodes were something, and then there was a filler episode, and then it went into like 5 more.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. So now I know how Jean becomes the Phoenix.
Again.
Well, I feel like I'm watching it for the first time because I don't remember the other one.
Well, if you're doing what I'm doing and rewatching all of them, they do it twice.
Ah, okay.
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in the middle of season 3 now. I'm still loving it. I want to get a Gambit statue from pop culture, and it looks mighty good. Gambit is becoming more my man the more I watch.
Yes. Well done, mon ami.
Howdy,
I am loving the Gambitisms and his Frenchness that he puts into every sentence.
Occasion.
Yes.
Occasion. I
Where's
love
the
him
occasion?
already. I will keep him in my heart for as long as I watch this show.
Amazing.
I love it so much. Yes, so X-Men's going well. I'm also slowly catching up on MasterChef.
Oh.
I'm still like at least 8 episodes out. Oh, I'm still like, a good 2 weeks of episodes out. No matter how much I've tried to catch up, because every time I think, okay, let me watch a few episodes today, and then I think to myself, wait, no, but then I also need to do this, and I need to watch this, and I need to play that, and so I'm trying to like space it all out for myself. So I'm like, I already know from the previews on TV that they're apparently in Hong Kong this week, and I'm nowhere near that. I'm like, I still need to get to the Zumbo week. They're having a Zumbo week, and because Adriana Zumbo comes into the kitchen, and now I'm just like, I haven't even gotten that far, and they're already in Hong Kong. I'm trying to like speed up my watching process, but it's not working. Anyway, apart from that, the only other thing that I've really watched, apart from what we'll be talking about later, is I watched Muppets from Space.
Oh.
I finally sat down and watched Muppets from Space, and it was a story about Gonzo, and I kind of felt for him. It was like, felt he was all feeling so lonely, and all he wanted was a family because everybody else has family and he doesn't. And then, yeah, it was fun. It was just a fun, good old Muppet times, and you know, aliens and. It was funny and it was wholesome, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much.
Lovely.
Yeah, Muppets from Space. I think the next one I'll turn to is Muppets Take Manhattan.
Yes.
Yeah.
That should be the next one that I'll be playing watching.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
Yeah, that's what I'll be watching.
Great. Nice. Well done, Fulya. That's awesome. Mike, what about you?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I've written down because my memory is fading. Me and the wife have finished doing. Well, I'm doing a rewatch, and she's watching it for the first time. The Bear, so we're all caught up. Because Bear season 3 comes out this week. Yay! Yay! And they're chucking them all in one day, so we'll probably not watch like all of it, like, you know, probably 2 at a time each day, and then possibly next week I'll tell you all about it.
Amazing.
Yeah, so rewatching that, it's great. It's great doing a rewatch when you watch both series together, because it feels like a more cohesive story within these characters and where they are, and yeah, it's just a great show. I highly recommend it. And yeah, and she my wife really enjoys the Christmas episode, and the anxiety fueled watch that it is, like involving family and Christmas and just people not checking themselves, need a lot of therapy.
Yeah.
and all the cameos really in it. Jamie Lee Curtis, Bob Odenkirk, who else? John Mulaney. There's another one,
Sarah Paulson.
Sarah Paulson, yes. Yeah. For some reason, Molly Ringwald was in the first season, and she hasn't come back, which is a shame. Because I like Molly Ringwald. I like seeing her stuff. Probably that's why I like Not Another Teen Movie so much, because that Molly Ringwald coming out at the end is like, I get it.
It's good.
Yeah. And that was like last of the good spoof movies ever, and then they just turned the shit. Cheap cash grab. Anyway, The Bear. That was good. Can't wait for that. Nice. Also, yes, the episode 4 of The Boys came back. Wow. Wow. It's not just on... the social commentary is not just on the nose, it's basically hitting you like a freight train. Like an A train.
Yeah.
I love this show, but it's slowly becoming one of those shows it's very grueling to watch because of everything that's happening. And bear in mind, I am enjoying it. It's just it makes you feel ill, if that's the way. makes you a bit ill. And Homelander is absolutely... Yeah. Anthony Starr is awesome. He needs all the rewards.
Mm-hmm.
And... Yeah, and I know you probably want to talk about it, Kendall, when it's your turn, but yeah, it's Butcher is slowly becoming Venom.
I don't know.
Like his cancer cells, like going around his body like a symbiote.
Yeah.
And
There's something going on there.
yeah, something.
Something's happening.
Yeah, that's great. Huey's story arc is becoming really good. I'm worried about his dad and what's going to happen there. Is Simon Pegg going to be a zombie? do. Yeah, and we're just halfway done through the season, which is unbelievable. I mean, it sort of makes sense considering they dropped 3 episodes in the same night. So really enjoying it, and yeah, and I'm happy that it's pissing off the right people. Speaking of pissing off the right people, House of the Dragon came back. Season 2, episode 1. And yes, really enjoyable. It hasn't skipped a beat even after a 2 years sort of hiatus, really. Yes, Fulya, you got your hand up.
How is it pissing off people at the moment?
We're talking The Boys. Go back.
No.
House of the Dragon.
Yeah, they kill a small child at the end. Spoilers.
Ooh.
And
they don't show it.
No.
You don't see it. You hear it happen, but you don't see it happen.
I don't like that. I don't like it at all.
No.
Big trigger
just
for
hearing
me.
about it, I'm just like, no, I don't like it.
I understand it's fiction, but my God.
And apparently it was worse in the book. So, and people are pissed off about that. The fact that apparently it was tame the way the kid was killed compared to how it happened in the book. Yeah,
they were upset that it was tame.
Yeah.
And it wasn't tame. It wasn't tame. Like, it was tame compared to how it happens.
Okay.
But like for Game of Thrones style cruelty, it was pretty on brand. It wasn't as bad as when fucking what's his name? I forget his name. Had his kid executed back in like season 5 or whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
That was worse than this.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I enjoyed the little prelude at the start with the Night's Watch and all that, and how they're saying, well, out there is the big threat, that we know because it's a prequel, and it made me more pissed off about season 8. It's like, the White Walkers, they're a dangerous thing. It's just Arya Stark just took them out. Just easy. Just easy. Anyway, here nor there. Spoilers for that.
Meh, not like I'm gonna watch it anyway.
Watch it and be pissed off like us.
Yeah.
Shared trauma.
I'm happy in my own trauma over here, thanks.
Yeah, so coming back hot. I like it, and yeah, another show that makes me go ill. But I will just add, I haven't written it down, but I will just add a TV show that I'm actually enjoying, and it's a good breakaway, and it makes me feel good. It's one of them feel good, and not to be taken seriously. Smiling Friends, the season 2 is coming out, and I've been watching that, and it's right in my wheelhouse. Very niche as shit. There's a cameo of the angry video. The nostalgia critic. He makes
really?
He makes a cameo in this. Is like, I am right here for it. But he's playing another character. But he's literally doing hello. I'm the nostalgia.
Really?
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Okay.
Love it.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, if you're like me and been brought up with that sort of weird shit on the internet, and now it's enshrined into a TV show, it's great. It's so great. And yeah, it's just balls to the wall, just insane. It's hard to find because you can't really watch it in legal tense, but it's not impossible. But yeah, it's a mission that you should have, Kendall.
Okay.
A Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
Do you like Mission Impossible, Kendall?
I do.
Ah.
Yeah, I did watch the sequel for that, like the most recent one, like a month or so ago, and I never mentioned it on the podcast, but it was good.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I don't really mention.
Yeah, we don't mention everything we watch, otherwise that'd be the whole podcast, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Even though it is becoming the podcast.
What have you been watching?
Well, for me, it's my turn. Hello. Where to start? Well, maybe I just do it in chronological order. House of the Dragon, yes. Putting the hot in Hot D. We're back, baby. I'm very, very happy to be back in Westeros again. The show just continues to redeem the Game of Thrones franchise for me. It's just great. Fucking hats off to Emma Darcy for her portrayal of Rhaenyra Targaryen. Bitch had one fucking line in that entire episode, and the rest was just her face and her grief and her anger, and fuck, man, yeah, Emmy coming right at her.
Them.
Yeah, she was great. I love her. It was just awesome. Yeah, it was a strong start to the season. Really a grueling ending, of course, as we've discussed. I won't retread that, but yeah, just excellent television, superb filmmaking, visual effects are on point. Everything's on point about this show. So I'm very excited to talk about House of the Dragon again for the next 9 weeks. So that's gonna be fun. I also went and finally saw Furiosa in the cinema. So
it was still in the cinema when you watched it?
Yeah, I saw it last Monday. Yeah, I think I watched House of Dragon that day, and then that night I went to movies. Yes, Monday.
Nice.
Yeah, still at cinema. I didn't get to see it in extreme screen, because it is nearing the end of its run, obviously. But I enjoyed it. It was good. It made me want to watch Fury Road again because it literally, spoilers. I mean, it's kind of widely known, I think, at this point that it really backs straight into Fury Road. And they even show clips of Fury Road in the end credits. So I just kind of want to watch that movie now, which I haven't had time to do yet, but I think I will. But yeah, it was good. I liked it. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but I enjoyed what I got. Like, it's just a cool world that George Miller has created, and the visual spectacle of it is just, top tier. And the fact that it's an Australian film, made here, filmed, everything, like, just the whole production, just fantastic. And Chris Hemsworth was great. I actually really liked seeing him as this completely different character to anything else he's played before. And he actually got to do some legit fucking acting. Like, dude never really gets a chance to kind of monologue or, do anything other than crack jokes these days, it seems. But in this role, he actually kind of got to, stretch his acting legs a bit, and I thought that was cool. And yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy is just Anya Taylor-Joy. I mean, she's joyous in everything she does. She hasn't given a bad performance her entire career. So I really liked her as well. So yeah, it was a good movie. was a good movie. What else did I have to mention? I guess I could talk about The Boys, as well. I did watch The Boys, and yes, loved it, very much too. Homelander is just, he's going through it. I guess that's his therapy, I suppose. Let's go back to your. Not very healthy. I said nothing about healthy, man. It's he's going back to his childhood. Okay, childhood trauma.
Yeah. Get in the oven.
So that's fucking. I'm just like, this show. Only on this show, only in the age of streaming, can you do this stuff. Can you tell these kinds of stories and actually show this shit? It's just, it's good. Yeah, and I hate Firecracker. Like, I hate her face. Nothing to do with anything or what her character's done. I actually am kind of not a fan of the storyline between her and Starlight. I think they're making a mountain out of a molehill with some of it. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. But I don't like her, but I think that's a good thing because you're not supposed to like her. So I think, yeah, in that way, the actor's doing a really good job. So that was a really, really weird backhanded compliment. Yeah, I like Huey's storyline too, I will agree. Sums up with his mum, clearly. Being very shady. And yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen to Simon Pegg now, because I was really sad. I'm like, no. I don't want to lose him. And then, yeah. But he hasn't really been in the show anyway.
Yeah.
Like, he's very much on the outskirts.
Bit of an easy film day. It's like lie in bed for half a day, so you just get the action shots.
Yeah, literally. just look brain dead for a bit, and we'll call her up. Yeah, it's great. But yeah, The Boys is great. It's awesome. It's fun. It's a hell of a time. And then two other things I'll quickly mention. I went to the movies again this week, and I saw a Danish movie called The Promised Land, starring Mads Mikkelsen. Really fucking good. I was just transported back to 18th century Denmark. Mads Mikkelsen plays this ex-military captain who's decided to tame the untamable. There's like this heath of land that belongs to the king, and they're trying to, grow crops there, farm there, and whatever. And it's just, you can't, like, the technology isn't there yet, so nothing will grow, and they can't figure out why. And then Mads Mikkelsen's like, well, actually, if we grow potatoes, he basically does a Mark Watney from fucking The Martian. He just grows potatoes, and it works. But
in his own shit?
Not in his own shit. No, there's no shit. So Mark Watney adjacent.
Yeah, no shit.
No shit.
No bullshit.
But there is one hell of a little fucking shit he has to deal with, and that's a rival landowner who thinks he owns the land, a claim to a land, but because he's just this fucking egotistical maniac, basically, who's let power go to his head and is willing to kill to keep the land that Mads Mikkelsen's character has right to. And there's this whole huge conflict that kind of breaks out, and it was gripping, and it was very well written, very well acted, and the ending was so satisfying. I was very happy. Very happy when I walked out. But yeah, I recommend The Promised Land highly. I really, really enjoyed it. It's a good movie, and well paced too. Like, it feels slow in parts, but I don't think it actually is. It kind of it spends enough time with each scene before it moves on where it needs to. And I don't really have any notes on it. It was a very, very good movie. And now, of course, I'm going to talk about Only Mayhem in the Murder Place.
I like the Murder Place.
Why must you both murder the title?
This is the Murder Place.
Because it's a good joke, Fulya, and I am not one to let a good joke die.
It's a good bit, alright? It's a good bit. I like the bit.
Yeah, I like the bit. I like the bit. I'm doing it for the bit. Yes, Only Murders in the Building. I finished season 2.
Hey.
Spoilers, you guys, I don't think you remembered. You said last week that who killed Bunny. It was Poppy, the assistant, who actually turned out to be the not murdered woman that Thingo's podcast was based on, and so this whole twist upon a twist, and then it was almost fucking Cara Delevingne did it, and I was just like, okay, what's going on here? There's a lot going on unpacking in that the ending of that season. I will say, not as good as season 1. I think season 1 is a lot stronger. Season 2 was good, entertaining, but I think season 1 was definitely better. However, I'm halfway through season 3.
Yep.
And fuck, it's fantastic. Like, I was umming and ahhing because I finished season 2 on, when did I finish it? Thursday or Friday? And I was like, am I going to have time to start season 3 before I podcast with them on Sunday? And I'm like, I don't know. Or maybe I'll just leave it. And then last night I was like, fuck it. Let's see what happens. And then, I just watched 5 episodes in a row. I'm like, well, this is great.
It's very consumable.
It is, and I do like that about it. It is, you can binge it quite easily. So, when we come to talking about it week to week, it's going to be a very different experience soon. But yeah, fucking Paul Rudd is just, it's just great. Co-bro.
Yeah. Co-bro.
Co-bro. Oh man, it's so funny. And I just love how cringe Charles is about, like, when the table read, he gets up, he makes that speech, and it's just like, just because I had a TV show once, and I'm a person like you are too, and just
Yep.
Oh man, and just all of us are just like, okay, just sit down. Just sit down. Yeah, I really liked it. I liked the, twist of, okay, he's not dead, but then he is dead, and we actually do have a murder in the building. That was fun. Meryl Streep is just a delight.
Right?
I love Meryl Streep. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen her in a lot of stuff, clearly, and I mean, who hasn't? But she's just, like, it's just kind of surreal at first to watch her be in this role of a struggling actress. Like, it's quite
Ironic,
funny. Very ironic. It's quite funny. She's so charming, but there's clearly something underneath it going on. I mean, I'm getting a red herring vibe. I doubt she's going to actually be the killer. Because I'm starting to, I don't know if they'll change the pattern, but I'm starting to see this pattern of, like, it's not ever who you think it is or who the show wants you to think it is. So it might come out of left field, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm really I can't remember them now, which is annoying me. But there was some moments last night where I was watching. I was actually pissing myself. Some of the funniest fucking shit. I'm sorry. I don't know why I can't remember them now. I think it's all just a bit of a blur, to be honest. But I was, dying. Oh, Howard. I love Howard now. Howard's just the best. Fucking. And I loved how they changed the opening credits, because it was Bunny walking around in the front, and now it's Howard with Sevlin in the front walking along. Like, that's a really sweet touch. But no, Howard as Oliver's assistant in this production is the best thing.
He's so invested.
He's so invested. I'm so invested, and I really like that moment between him and Mabel when he's, like, frothing over her sweaters. That was fun. Yeah, it's a good time. So they almost lost me with season 2 in the end, because I was like, oh, I like it, but I don't love it. But now I'm like, all right, I'm in.
Yep.
I'm in. You've got me, show. I'm in now. Anyway, so that's where I'm at.
Did you like that the way that Charles has this anxiety when it comes to singing?
And the white room.
Yeah.
He comes out of it, there's, like, babies hanging from the ceiling, and his hair's all like
everything's just gone awry.
Everything's just gone. And then it happened when he was with I've forgotten her name already. I know her name. It's on the tip of my tongue. But the new, his new girlfriend, and who's no. I'm talking.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. Yes.
I don't know why I forgot her name. God, my memory's terrible. Anyway, you know, he's having anxiety about her, and then he goes to the White Room, comes out of it, and then he's proposed. Like,
And he
oh,
has no idea that it did that.
He has no idea. Yeah. Also, I really like Jane Lynch as a recurring character.
He's stunt double.
Yeah, like that's just so random, but just so
Yeah.
good. Like,
Yeah.
it's just great.
Mm.
Lovely. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm a fan now, I think. Yeah.
Woo!
It happened. It finally happened.
Finally.
We twisted your
Finally.
arm enough.
Yes. Yes.
Only
you broke...
took 2-3 years.
Yeah, you broke me down, guys.
Very slowly, but we did it.
I iron will somehow. I have some iron will in me. Alrighty, that's enough of that. We are going to move on into our next segment, which is, of course, the nerdy news.
This is the news, the nerdy news. The nerds that talk about the nerdy news. That is us who talk about the news that is nerdy. And now the queen of nerdydom, the hostess with mostest, Kendall Richardson. Take it away, Kendall.
Okay, nerdy news time. And unfortunately, we have to get a little sad for a couple minutes here while we pay our respects to an absolute icon and legend of cinema and television. And that is, of course, Donald Sutherland. Sadly passed away this week at the age of 88. So a life long lived, that's for sure. And just going through his filmography earlier and just seeing the amount of quality and just consistency of work that he put out over his very long career is just something that will never be forgotten and will stand to be admired for, you know, so many more years. Yeah, I mean, most people, especially our generation, I mean, I know you guys aren't really into them, but the Hunger Games series, of course, he played the villainous President Snow across 4 movies and was the perfect foil, the perfect antithesis to Katniss Everdeen, played by Jennifer Lawrence. He really had this quiet menace to him. And Donald really knew how to bring that exceptionally well. Like every time I've watched those movies and he's on screen, I'm just like, he doesn't overdo it. He's very subtle and nuanced in his performances, and he doesn't really chew the scenery per se, but he really like pulls something from some dark place and just goes to this, like, you know, Snow is kind of a dictator sort of character, I suppose, in the universe. Yeah, I always admired his portrayal of that character. And it's funny because then you watch him in something like Pride and Prejudice, and he's, you know, the elderly Mr. Bennet, who's just so charming and wonderful and wholesome and the best dad. Probably the best man in that entire film, like one of. There's not many in that movie, but in that story. But yeah, he's so warm and loving in that performance as well. So he was an actor that really knew how to encompass both sides of the spectrum in terms of the epitome of what humans are capable of versus the tyranny that they possess within them. So yeah, I'm going to miss his presence on screen. That's for sure. Yeah, I really, really need to watch Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's been on my radar forever. I haven't gotten around to it, but a lot of people talk about his performance in that movie kind of being, you know, a very iconic horror movie performance. So
the remake.
Oh, we don't talk about the remake, Mike.
That is the remake.
Oh, is the remake of a remake? How many times has this been remade?
Probably 5 times.
Okay. Well, we don't talk about the last remake.
Yeah. Like, there's the original in the 1950s and the 70s.
Yep. Okay.
If you count Revenge of the Triffids as well, it's sort of the same vein.
Okay.
So it's a big thing. But yeah, he's more known for the remake good version.
The good remake. Okay.
The good remake. It's like
Thank
The
you.
Thing.
Yeah. Thank you for correcting me. Yes. I didn't see. I haven't seen it. I don't know. But I will definitely be watching it now. That's for sure. So, yeah. Holy crap. Definitely thinking of his loved ones, and especially his son Kiefer, who had to make the announcement to the world. Just terrible news. But yeah, he leaves behind an incredible legacy and will be missed. Fulya, do you have anything to share, to talk about, to speak on the late and great Donald Sutherland?
He's got, for what you mentioned, the list of his credits as an actor, 200 credits. It's insane.
Yeah.
There's a lot. He's done a lot of work, of which I don't think I've seen any. Sadly.
Hey, that's okay.
I never really got into the Hunger Games, so it's not something that I would have been, in the forefront of. Yes, Michael.
He was in MASH.
Yeah, he was in the MASH movie.
He was in the MASH movie, which I've never seen.
The original Hawkeye.
The original Hawkeye Pierce.
Yeah.
Which now I kind of need to go back and watch, because I do have it, because it came with my my series collection, and I think I did start watching it at one point, but then stopped for whatever reason.
1970s
I don't think I finished it.
Movie.
I think it was
slow and boring.
I think it was mostly because I got so used to watching the actors in the MASH series that going back and watching the film that didn't have those actors in it, except for one, which was Gary Berghoff.
Oh.
The rest of them were not the same actors, so it kind of threw me off a bit, and I couldn't see past that. So
and there's no laughing track.
No. Yeah, I definitely need to go and watch the MASH film. Now that I know that it was Donald Sutherland as the main role, because I love MASH. MASH is awesome. But yeah, rest in peace. He's definitely going to be missed by a lot of people for sure.
100%. Mike, what about yourself?
Yeah, this sort of hit me because he was like, a fellow character actor. Like, you knew what you were getting into when you see like his movies. And to touch on the Pride and Prejudice one, my mum doesn't like that version because she's a sort of a Jane Austen like purist through and through.
Yeah.
The BBC version with Colin Farrell.
Colin Firth.
Yeah. Colin Farrell. Yeah, Colin Firth as Mr. Darcy is like the all-time pinnacle.
That is, yeah. That is the lauded, yeah.
And then she watches like, what's this American shit? It's like, no, the Bennets weren't in poverty. It was a class system. Yeah, I can get into it, but yeah, anything like that. Probably one of my favorite movies that I've seen. I haven't seen The Hunger Games, and after this, I'll probably go and watch them just cause apparently that's something that I probably want to watch now, considering we've lost him. But one of my favorite ones is a movie that I saw in the cinema, Space Cowboys. If you've seen that one.
Yes. Love Space Cowboys.
I love Space Cowboys, and his character was great. Womanizer, but still charming at the same time. Rogue sort of thing. And could be. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while. It could be cringy, like it's like a dirty old man sort of thing. But I don't know. With my memory with it, it's like. It was just charm and charisma, and he needed like thick glasses and all that, and just the star power, and that was absolutely fantastic. Tommy Lee Jones and Clint Eastwood and everything, and just old boys in space. Yeah, pretty sad to see him go. And I didn't know he was actually in the Dirty Dozen, so I need to rewatch that. And it's like, oh yeah, that's him. Great. And yeah, Invasion of the Body Snatchers is like great sci-fi horror, historic as well. Like, like that one and The Thing being remakes that surpass like the original. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. Yeah. So yeah, he will be missed, and yeah, can't remember anything else to add. Oh yeah, I just having a read is he's also in a spoof movie as well, Kentucky Fried Movie. Apparently he's in that. So
wow,
his experience in acting is very broad, and he can do any genre. And it's great. He was also in Beer Fest as well.
Yes.
So it's great.
Yeah.
Will be missed.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay, moving on into I usually like to say more uplifting news, but this just doesn't really give me much hope. Got some Marvel news to talk about. And yeah, poor Blade. I don't know. I feel like they should just pull the plug at this point on this movie, to be honest. Poor Mahershala Ali is just sitting there waiting for his time in the MCU, and it's just passing him by.
5 years.
To the point where it's gone from when he was announced, everyone fucking loved the MCU. The MCU could do no wrong, and now
COVID and yeah.
COVID happened, and
strikes
happened, and then the quality has diminished, and just yeah. Anyway, so but they're still trying to make this movie. Unfortunately, another director has departed the project. They lost their second director last week. What was his name? Yann Demange. Demange. Pick your pronunciation. Apologies. Yeah, he's departed the project, and apparently now they are looking at rejigging the entire script. They've asked Eric Pearson to step in and pen the screenplay. He'll probably be a co-writer, I imagine. He's got credits on Thor Ragnarok and Black Widow and Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, which are yet to come out, obviously. So hopefully this new script can inject new life into this project somehow. I don't know. They're going to start looking for a director once this new script is done. But yeah, there's also talk on the internet about what the hell is going on with this movie, and I've seen articles about possible characters that they were looking at exploring and all this other stuff. So it's just, I don't know. I know, even Wesley Snipes is commenting on the bullshit. So it just seems like a bit of a hot mess now, which is a shame. Because when they announced it, I was so in. I mean, of course I was in. Hello. But, Mahershala Ali is a 2-time Academy Award-winning actor, and he's already been in a Marvel thing, and he was great in that, and I guess we wanted more of him. And Blade is such a cool character, such a good opportunity, I think, to give the character a new life. Another go, even though, the original films are kind of neither here nor there in terms of quality, very up and down. But, hey, who knows what'll happen with this? My apathy is complete. I just don't care now. It's crazy. I couldn't care if this movie happens or not. And that's really sad. But anyway. Mike, what do you make of this Blade mess? How are you feeling?
I don't know. I'm not sure if they can actually fit anything within the slot. So this may take place after the multiple Avengers movies, so it's going to be in the newer phases.
Yeah.
And having said that, they'll probably put it on hold for another 5. So this is probably going to live in infamy of being in production hell for about 10 years. And failing that, are we going to have the same Blade? They probably I don't know. is there a time limit on his contract or not? If so, then he'll probably have to step away. It's like, no, you took too long, and I'm not getting any work because of it. Because I'm probably speculating that his contract says you can't work on any other thing except for this because you're going to be in multiple version like this role, and as well as being in the Avengers as well. And yeah, it's a big mess. It's a big mess. So I'm not happy of what's going on because I don't like actors being screwed around by incompetence in a way. Because
Yeah.
I don't know. Just what was the other one that had this sort of? I can't remember of a Marvel thing being in production hell and trying to find different people. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember. Either way, it's annoying, but it was at the end of the Eternals, so
yeah, he
that's
was
a voice cameo.
Indeed.
And that's it. After 5 years.
Yeah.
Sucks.
That's all he's gotten. Yeah, I was just looking at his filmography to see how right you were about the work stuff. But yeah, he's like, since they announced him as Blade, he's only done a couple of things. Like he's obviously done Uncle Aaron in the Spider-Verse movies. But that's a voice. And then a couple of films. Most recently he did Leave the World Behind last year, which was earlier this year, that Netflix movie about the end of the world. That was pretty good. So yeah, he's not really worked in like really at all. Like nothing serious, to be honest. Which is insane because yeah, he's got 2 Oscars. Yeah. Oh well. All right, let's move on to our next bit of news then, shall we? I'm interested for Mike's opinion on this, mostly. Because because this week it was announced that we are going to be getting, for some reason, a sequel to Spaceballs. Spaceballs 2 is coming. Josh Gad is going to be starring in this, probably involved in some kind of writing or producing way as well, I imagine. The only thing that kind of gives me hope on this is that Mel Brooks is returning to produce this movie. So that's something. I'd be very curious to see what they do with the story. Apparently there is a script that's been written already, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know. I hope it's good. Like, I'm sure it'll be good. I obviously the original's a classic. I've only seen it once, so I should definitely rewatch it. But I remember enjoying it. Bill Pullman, John Candy, very funny. Rick Moranis, Mel fucking Brooks. I mean, yeah, it's great. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one, but I suppose I didn't check out History of the World Part 2. I still haven't watched that. But I don't remember that getting a horrendous reviews by any means when that aired last year. So, yeah. I don't know. I guess the only thing we'll tell is if Mel Brooks, touch wood, is still with us by the time this movie comes out. Because the man... I'm trying not to, but the man is approaching 100.
Yeah.
So...
I watched the Gene Wilder documentary on Netflix as well.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it had him in it, and it's like, yeah, all my favorite people are going. It's not fair.
I know. It's sad. It's not good. Well, hopefully this movie will be good though. I hope so. We'll see. Mike, how are you feeling about Spaceballs 2? What do you reckon?
I am not optimistic. Like, I have seen History of the World Part 2, the series, and it was fine for what it was. Like, series of sketches within a series format, which it fitted, and it was fine. It wasn't completely egregious. But with this, Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money, which is a joke in Spaceballs.
Yeah.
So if they don't have the tagline for that, right? I think, if memory serves, Spaceballs came out, was being made, and Mel Brooks actually asked pretty much permission for it from George Lucas, with the heavy Star Wars influence, and he said, "Yeah, it's fine, but you can't make any merchandise from it," which actually culminates that scene of merchandising, and there was no merchandise at all for Spaceballs 2. Spaceballs. So,
yeah.
And I'm only going by memory here. I think he also says you can do one, but you can't do a sequel. So now that George Lucas is pretty much out of the picture for Star Wars, so they can probably do whatever they want with it. But this is being produced by MGM, who owns most of the rights of Mel Brooks films as well. So how is that going to work? Are they going to make it into something else? Is it going to be more? What does MGM have? I don't know.
James Bond.
But
MGM has James Bond.
But I'm thinking of. I know Paramount's got Star Trek, so I don't know.
If you're talking sci-fi stuff, MGM actually owns Stargate, but that's probably...
it's not big enough.
Not big enough.
But
no, it's fine. It's true. It's true.
But
that's why I didn't mention it. Initially.
I'm curious of what they're going to do with it, because clearly you can't really. Are they going to make fun of too many Star Wars shit? I can understand that, and how everything's gone far from it. So, and with Josh Gad, fine. He's only let me down in pixels, I guess, but but otherwise it's fine, I guess. I don't know. But with Mel Brooks being attached to it, hopefully we'll get yogurt, just for a brief scene, in his quote unquote not Yoda / Yoda get up. It's a good movie. I mean, I've always said that Young Frankenstein is probably my favorite Mel Brooks collab with Gene Wilder, but with this one, it's a pretty much a soft spot in most hearts of sort of comedy / Star Wars and sci-fi in general. So maybe they'll put in a bit more style references. I mean, I wonder. I hope they get something a bit like when John Hurt did a cameo in Spaceballs, as well as in reprising his scene in Aliens. So
yeah.
Hopefully they do something like that. Like they get Ewan McGregor or something.
That would be cool.
That sort of thing. So I don't know. I'm not optimistic, and I'm a bit wary, because those Mel Brooks films are great as a capsule of good comedy cinema. And don't fuck it up.
Yes, you heard Josh Gad. You listen to this podcast. Don't fuck it up.
Yeah, you Olaf motherfucker. Don't fuck it up.
Yeah, Jesus. All right. We got one more thing to talk about in the news, and I'm going to take a little bit of a back seat for a couple of minutes because it's some gaming news. More specifically, very excitingly, the Nintendo Direct that dropped this week was pretty huge from what I can see. The pleb that is me seemed to see that it was pretty big because they announced a new Zelda game. And can I ask a question? Someone who is uninitiated.
Yes.
Is this the first time you're gonna get to play as Zelda?
Yes.
Oh, two different answers.
Well, technically yes, but no.
Okay, interesting. I love
If you
that.
count the CDR games, which some people don't.
Ah, right. Depends on your certain point of view.
Certain point of view, yes.
Yes. But yes, new Zelda game coming out along with a bunch of other stuff. So I'm just gonna throw to the expert, our resident gamer, Fulya, Foolish Fuji. Please take it away.
Alrighty, so yes, one of the biggest announcements that came out of this Nintendo Direct was that the new Legend of Zelda game, subtitled Echoes of Wisdom, will be coming out this year. Very soon. This is like towards the end of the life cycle of the Switch, by the way, because soon enough they're going to be announcing the new console that's going to be coming out next year. But they didn't announce anything about it this particular time around. And they even mentioned in a tweet, it's like, the Direct is happening. No, we're not going to be talking about the new console, by the way.
So shout out.
Setting expectations immediately before they got hammered by all of the fans. So yes, one of the biggest, and the thing is, it's not the only new game that's coming to the Switch. 3 titles have been announced. One of them we already knew about. We just weren't sure about dates, and we were wanting more updates on it, which is on Metroid Prime 4, colon beyond. Metroid Prime 4 colon beyond.
My Beyond
which
colon.
is the title. Beyond the colon.
Beyond the colon.
So yes, everybody's been highly anticipating Metroid Prime 4. They've been really looking forward to it, and they want to know dates. There's still no date. However, they have given us a 2025 release year. So we'll see what happens. They gave us a little bit of a look into some gameplay of what to expect from the game itself. But they are still working on it, and they are hoping that we all be very patient for its release, which will be next year. I'm not a Metroid gamer, to be honest. I've never played any Metroid games, so all for whoever those of you who are excited for Metroid Prime 4, then you've got something really awesome to look forward to next year. But with that, just to hold you over, you can play the old I can't remember the name of the Metroid game, but it's coming to the NSO. Metroid, oh my gosh, where is it? Metroid Zero Mission, Metroid Zero Mission. It will be on the Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion packs, because it was a Game Boy Advance game originally. So they have brought it over to the NSO. So if you're looking for a Metroid game to fill in your gap up until Metroid Prime 4, you have that at your disposal. Another game, this is the third title that was announced as a new game, and not a remake or a remaster. It is a new Mario and Luigi title, Mario and Luigi : Brothership. So that one is definitely new. That was the opening game for the Direct as well, and a lot of people were originally speculating that it was going to be a remake or like a remaster of one of the older titles. But no, Nintendo has come forth and said, have a new game. Here is a new Mario and Luigi game. I personally haven't played a Mario and Luigi game. However, I've only just started playing Mario and Luigi Dream Team Bros on the 3DS because I bought it last year, pre-owned. So I've been sort of like trying to pick up old 3DS games here and there where I can. And I managed to grab Dream Team Bros, and I've started playing it. It's interesting. It is weird. And you're playing as both Mario and Luigi. You're controlling both. It's a single player game and you're controlling both brothers, which is really interesting. So they have their own respective buttons that you use to attack with. It's an RPG. It's a turn-based RPG, I will say. So it makes it a lot easier when you're doing battles. But yeah, it's also interesting traversing the lands and stuff like that you have to use. So the A button is for Mario, and then the B button is for Luigi, and that's their respective jump buttons whenever you are jumping, which is really cool. So I'm enjoying what I've played so far. It's interesting, like I said. And yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully jumping into this new title when it releases on the Switch later in the year, coming out on the 7th of November this year. So look forward to that, everybody's. And another big announcement was Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake will be coming to the Switch in November, with Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D to follow in the new year. So Dragon Quest fans, look forward to that as well. Here's something that no one had on their bingo card. Apparently, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD will be coming to the Switch in January of 2025. A lot of people were hoping for, a remake of another like a remaster of another Donkey Kong game. They weren't expecting it to be Donkey Kong Country Returns. Apparently, it's not one of the good ones because I don't remember playing it.
Yeah.
Have you played it, Michael?
I played a little bit of it. And
yeah.
It's Donkey Kong Country was made from Rare.
Yes.
And then Rare was bought out by Microsoft. So therefore they tried to sort of revamp a new version of Donkey Kong, and that was the first one. And people
Donkey Kong Country Returns, yep.
Sure, it's a side scroller and it's 3D and looks good, but there's no King K. Rool or anything like that. So
yeah,
a lot of people went, nah.
Yeah, I from the reactions I got from a lot of people online, they're not too excited for this one. It's a very random one to bring back as a HD remake.
Yeah, because they got a lot of like Rare games on the what do you call them? The direct versions. Like Perfect Dark has recently came out. And
yeah, that's coming to NSO as well. So
they've got them. So why can't you do a remake of
one of those? Yeah.
One of them, like,
I don't know.
Instead of looking like what it is and like actual 3D models, like doing that thing. It's like,
well, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people have been speculating a lot more like remasters and remakes coming out on the Switch this year, purely because of the fact that it's coming to its end of its cycle, life cycle, and with the anticipation of the new one being announced anytime now. They weren't really expecting new games such as the ones that I've just listed off previously.
Yeah.
So now, like, they were like because we had Paper Mario 1000 Year Door. That was the most recent release, and that's a remastered version from the GameCube era. And yeah, there's like so many other games that have come out within the last 12 months that have been remasters and remakes, but yeah, this wasn't one of those. Like, Donkey Kong Country Returns was not something that people were expecting.
Yeah.
But anyways, moving into some other games that were announced, Super Mario Party Jamboree will be coming to the Switch. This is the third iteration of the Mario Party games on the Switch. This is the third Switch version. which is something that's very surprising. We thought they'd probably hold off on a Mario Party game until the next one came out, but looks like it's going to be lots of fun with a lot more mini games, over 110 mini games to be exact, which also supports over 20 players online while playing those mini games. So that's going to be interesting on the Nintendo console. But I'm sure it'll be fine. They're mini games. They're not full on, like, it's not the full party, like, board game thing. But the mini games should be good. And the fact that you'll be able to play with more than just, like, 4 players, which is the maximum number that you can play with on one session, which is really interesting. I think the biggest announcement that came out of this particular direct was something that I didn't expect, but it got all of the fighter gamers really hyped. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics coming to the Switch. And it includes quite a lot of them. So it includes X-Men Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superheroes, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and The Punisher, all on the Switch, coming soon later this year. And that is the one that I think stole the show for a lot of players. A lot of gamers are very excited for the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. I myself have only played, I think, one iteration of a Marvel vs. Capcom, I believe, on the PS3. So the fact that all these I hadn't even heard of some of these titles. It's really, really cool. So I'd be looking forward to it. I'm more of a casual fighting gamer, more so, but I know a lot of people out there who are absolutely in hysterics when they saw this pop up. Like the live reactions to a lot of like content creators, especially that did live reactions to the direct. Their faces, their voices just changed immediately the moment that this popped up on the screen. And I am very happy for all of them. They look like they're going to be so excited to play. And yeah, like, it's going to be great. Are you much of a fighting gamer there, Michael, yourself?
Not really. Mostly Smash. But my wife did get me DC versus Mortal Kombat way back when.
I remember that one, yep.
Yeah. My wife was more of a... what'd she play? I think she played Tekken, mostly.
Tekken, yeah.
Yeah, so she played mostly of that, and then she said, "Oh, we can play together." It's like I don't like it. I'm more of a button smasher.
A lot of people are button mashers.
Yeah, so not really for me, dog. But I know there's a lot of love for these particular arcade style games way back when, and it looks like it's going to be a multiple string in the one game. So that's
yeah. That should be really cool.
If only they did that for Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3. But
yeah,
no.
you think they do that, but I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe on the new console. Who knows?
Yeah. I'm expecting that new Zelda game to be for the Switch as well as the new console, because that's what they did for Breath of the Wild.
I think that's what's going to happen. I feel like it'll probably be a like a cross-gen game, along with potentially Metroid Prime 4 will definitely be that as well.
Yeah,
I would say. So yeah, definitely going to be a cross-gen game for sure. And then the last one I will mention, even though it's not the last thing that came out of the direct, because there was 40 minutes worth of bloody content to consume from that direct. But the one last thing that I will mention is that even though we got it in, when was it? I think we got it in the Summer Games Fest that announced. that Lego Horizon Adventures was gonna come, and it's based off the Horizon series on Sony. Lego Horizon Adventures is coming to the Switch. It's coming to all platforms, to be honest. But they made another announcement through the Nintendo Direct to say that, hey, look, there's a Sony game here on the Switch, and hopefully we'll be getting that later this year. I'm actually looking forward to playing Lego Horizon Adventures because I really enjoy playing the Lego games growing up, and especially I think I played a lot of them on the PS3. So I am very much looking forward to playing Lego Horizon Adventures. This might also be my gateway into playing the Horizon game. If I like what I see in this, because I know with Lego games they make it more fun and family friendly, and it's a bit more quirky with its humor and all that sort of stuff. But it will also give you an idea of what to expect from that IP as well. So if I like what I see, then I will play Horizon Zero Dawn.
I want Lego God of War.
Yes. I feel like that needs to be the next one from Sony.
Lego Last of Us.
Ooh. I don't know. Lego Last of Us.
Yeah, when you hit a clicker, it explodes in bricks.
Into bricks?
Yeah.
Well, this is true. It'll be the same in all the games.
Yeah, same voice cast as well.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Troy Baker as the Lego version of Joel.
Quirky jokes as well.
Yeah.
But
they have to make it family friendly.
Yeah. I can imagine that of Joel. Oh, dude, no. I'm just thinking about the first cutscene. But in Lego form, it's like this is no. This is
no.
What's the word?
This is no.
This is cursed.
Cursed.
Yeah.
Voice.
Yeah. That's pretty much
terrible.
everything that's pretty much come out of the Nintendo Direct. There are a lot more announcements that came out of it, but a lot more of the smaller stuff and updates to games that are already out.
Yeah.
So if you want to know the full list of all of the things that came out of the Nintendo Direct, you can definitely go onto the Nintendo website.
Yeah.
Or just Google it.
Yeah, you're already on the internet. Use it.
Yeah. Done.
That's it.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Sure. You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. Shall we close out the news then? Move on?
Yes.
Sure.
Excellent, eh? It's time to roll on up to the trailer park.
Rolling up to the trailer park where we all park all the trailers. Hee-ha.
Rolling.
Okay.
Emmerich.
Roland Emmerich. It's trailer park time, and our first trailer is the second trailer for the upcoming mini-series set in the world of the Batman. Of course, I'm talking about the Penguin. I am now, after seeing this trailer, really keen for this. Yeah, this looks great. Getting a bit more of the story here and how they're going to kind of frame Colin Farrell's Penguin as the protagonist of this. Yeah, that's really, really cool. It looks like it just fits in seamlessly with the world that Matt Reeves has already established. I liked seeing the reminders of what happened just before this started with, the flooding of Gotham and the aftermath of what the Riddler did and all of that. So, so that's kind of cool. Grounding us in that. Colin Farrell just looks great continuously in this character. I'm really keen to see what else he's going to do. I'm really here for Kristen Milioti as this daughter of Falcone. Kind of looking like a kind of a crazy but awesome kind of a crime boss lady. I'm here for her, so I'll take her straight to my veins. Thank you very much.
Crime girl boss.
Crime girl boss. Yes. Crime girl boss. Yeah. It looks great. I don't think I want or need any cameos from like Pattinson. We'll probably get something, I imagine, because Matt Reeves is making this as well. But if we don't, it's fine. I'm just really curious to see the reason this series exists, because Matt Reeves' approach to this sort of world, this like adjacent world of DC, that's of his own making, I guess. I don't think he's it. Yeah, I don't think he's really in it in like a Zack Snyder sense or a Kevin Feige sense. Like I feel like he's just kind of every piece has a purpose. So I feel like this is going to be a time well spent in Gotham. It looks very good. So I'm looking forward to it. And Clancy Brown's in this as well. So I love Clancy Brown. Good time had by all with him.
Mr. Krabs.
Yes, no, I can't wait to see this. I'm excited now. Fulya, I'm sure you have so much to say about the Penguin. Oodles.
Oodles of things to say.
What did you think?
That does not look like Colin Farrell at all.
Yeah, right.
They've really put on the makeup for him.
It's good.
But also he's putting on one hell of a, what is it, like a New Yorker voice?
I think
an
so.
Accent?
Sort of. New York, Chicago, whatever they the substitute for Gotham is in, you know.
It's a very sort of interesting sort of mafia sense if I could stereotype it to the mafia.
You can say Italian American.
No, it's not. I don't know. Like it's not really Italian. It's just that it's got that interesting sort of an accent and tone when they speak, and I can't really pinpoint it to a specific place. Generally, New York, or around that sort of area. But yeah, it's interesting because he's definitely 100% transformed into a completely different person, which is really cool. But other than that, I am not in on this movie.
Series.
It's a series.
Series.
You're not in the series.
Literally gone over my head. Yeah, not my style. It kind of reminds me of what it might be if I was to watch like The Godfather or Sopranos or something like that. And that's not my style of watching anyway. So yeah, not really into it.
No, that's totally fair. Color me not surprised. Like
a dark turquoise.
Mike, what did you make of the second trailer for The Penguin?
Well, I did like this, and yeah, Matt Reeves' is the Batman is definitely one of my favorite Batman's movies. And I like the fact that he had Matt Reeves actually had an idea for doing a series with the Penguin. It definitely has the feel of, well, James Gunn did the Suicide Squad, and they say, hey, I got this idea of a TV show with Peacemaker. Can I do that? It's like, yes, okay, I'm gonna do it. So it definitely has that sort of feel, and it definitely fits within this pocket universe of the Batman, of the Elseworlds, and not necessarily part of the I don't know what they call it now, the DCEU. I can't remember.
It's the DCU now.
The DCU.
Yeah.
And Peacemaker season 2 is not going to be part of. Is going to be part of that canon. So explain that to me. Yeah, but I definitely like the fact that it still has that feel of the Batman as well as being its own thing. Yes, I am also not looking forward to, but not hoping for like a Batman cameo. I'm just hoping it to be its own thing, as well as maybe little Easter eggs of other Batman rogues gallery within this, like the sort of crime version of it. Like, I mean, we don't have Falcone anymore, but we do have his daughter, and just seeing the crime vacuum happened, and who's going to come out on top? Well, the Penguin. Maybe. We don't know. That's going to be the interesting thing. I'm sort of the same as you, Fulya. I don't really go out of myself to look for the sort of mafioso crime media sort of thing. I mean, I watch it and I enjoy it for what it is, but meh. But this looks interesting because I love me Batman's Rogues Gallery and Penguin's like up there is one of the good ones and very interesting take for the Penguin because there's multiple versions of the Batman. It's just one of them and he was fun in the Batman and I can't wait to see more Colin Firth without seeing Colin Firth.
Colin Firth.
Yeah.
Even before you got fucking Colin, you called Colin Firth Colin Farrell, and now you're calling Colin Farrell Colin Firth. I love it. Sorry.
That was intentional, maybe.
Ah!
I'm not saying anything.
It's not funny when you explain a joke, Kendall. Oh.
Maybe.
It just tickled me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So when is this going to get dropped on Binge?
Binge, yes, Binge here in Australia, most likely, because it's a HBO Max Max joint. The Penguin will be airing on the 24th of September.
Nice.
Yeah.
Get my VPN ready.
Get your VPN ready. Speaking of streaming services, our next trailer is for another miniseries. Starring Natalie Portman and Moses Ingram, and this is, of course, Lady in the Lake. I like this trailer. It was very mind fucky, I suppose. That's the technical term.
Yeah.
And yeah, visually very interesting. I like when you have these mysteries or these thrillers where like it's kind of like these two people that are one of them is fascinated with the other, or like there's a mirroring going on, like parallel lives, like this sort of stuff. So I'm kind of very intrigued by this story and I want to know more. I am concerned that there might be things this trailer isn't showing us that maybe aren't so good. I don't know, because I wasn't blown away by any stretch by this trailer. I just thought it was a very well edited, constructed kind of a trailer, but it doesn't show you too much, I suppose, in terms of what you're gonna get. So yeah, when I renew my Apple subscription to watch Severance, I'll probably check this out because I love Natalie Portman. I will die for her. I would die for her any day. She's amazing. Yeah, so I'm curious. I'm really, really curious about this one. It's got my interest for sure. Fulya, what did you think of Lady in the Lake?
Weird. Not at all what I was expecting, to be honest. And very thriller kind of a take on the show. Yeah, I like the fact that it's a period piece, but I'm not sold on watching it. Yeah. Again, not my style of watching. Not my genre. So yeah, not a great trailer park for this co-op.
No, I was. Don't worry, I tossed and turned over this trailer park because I started looking at it yesterday. So I was like, oh, I'll try and get a head start, like an extra head start on things, and I was like, oh, there are like no Fulya friendly trailers at all this week, none. So I am sorry.
That's okay. No, can't have them all. You know,
can't have them all.
No, it's fine.
Oh,
hey, Fulya, we forced you to watch this thing. What do you think about
it? I think nothing. Moving on.
I think nothing. I have no opinion. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Mike, what did you think?
yeah, it was quite a spectacle, and it's a weird genre, a period piece as well as a very art housey, like thriller, and just a treat to the eyes of what's happening. So, I get the idea that Apple's sort of, they can throw all this money into this, and is it good? Well, you don't know, but look, it looks pretty, and we got cool people in it, and based on a book apparently. So there you go. I thought it was going to be Arthurian, Lady of the Lake, but it's Lady in the Lake. So it's a murder. There's not really much to go on. Bit of a noir without being too noir, and it's not really much to go on. But it just looks intriguing, and unfortunately, it's on Apple, and I don't have apples. No apples. We have no apples today. Not really much to say about it. Yeah,
when's it coming out?
I was gonna make a Keira Knightley, Natalie Portman joke, and I can't tell the difference.
I'm literally the only person I think in the world who doesn't think they look like, I don't get them confused ever.
No, I don't either. One's American and one's British.
All right. Like they're pretty easy. I don't even think they look that much alike, to be honest. Like,
no,
I can't.
They don't.
If I look at a side by side of them, and I can clearly tell who's who.
Yeah,
so
same.
It's insane to me that some people out there get them mixed up. I don't know. Just because they played fucking in Star Wars together, pretending to be the same person. Anyway, fine. So Lady in the Lake will be out on the 19th of July. If anyone's going to check it out. I will. Maybe. At some point.
Cool. Tell us what it is and get your reception.
I'll see if there's any Arthurian.
Yeah, I want to say Arthur.
Was it Arthur? Was she Merlin?
Was it Arthur? Merlin?
I see Lancelot.
Lancelot.
Lancy boy.
Yeah, macking on with some heroin. What's her name? Gabriel. No, Gabriel? No. Shit.
I don't remember.
Arthur's main squeeze.
Guinevere.
Guinevere, that's it. Jesus. I used to know this shit.
We're getting old.
We're getting
All
old.
Right. We're getting old. And
Speaking
tired,
of old.
Speaking of old, but not really. Next trailer. This one is so far outside of Fulya's wheelhouse. She's not even going to talk about it. It's fine because I don't want her to. Because I was like, don't watch this.
Why
I know
not?
this is not gonna. It's not gonna be a good time. This trailer is for the upcoming sequel to the horror movie called Smile. This is Smile 2. This was my favorite trailer this week because I recently watched the first film a couple months back and I loved it. Mike, have you watched it yet? Oh Jesus! I just looked down at you. You asshole.
What?
Brother, sir. For those listening, not watching, Mike just did the gag from the movie.
Well, I was just smiling.
He's
I
just
had
smiling.
no
enjoying
idea what he
myself.
was doing, but it looked creepy.
Yeah. Basically, fully the premise of this movie is that there's this entity that kills you by like possessing you, and only you can see, like, if you're about to die, you can see the creature, and basically everyone else just sees you smiling, this really like creepy as fuck smile, and then you kill yourself, and it's what's the creature killing you. Yeah,
I like to call it the Kubrick stare with a smile.
Yeah, that's a good.
It's weird.
Reference.
Creepy.
It's weird, but it's and it's very creepy. It's very. I really liked it. Yeah. Anyway, it's. I really liked the first film. I really liked it. Yeah, I recommend if you're a fan of horror to check it out. I was not expecting it to be as good as it was, and I'm not going to oversell it. I hope I'm not overselling it because it didn't like fucking, it wasn't like a Hereditary or fucking Conjuring sort of groundbreaking, but it was like it did enough with the genre. I thought with an original idea that I really liked it. So I'm really glad they made a second one, and I kind of really like the twist that it's actually like the main character, played by Naomi Scott, is a pop star. She's, sort of seems like a Lady Gaga, Dua Lipa sort of a singer, who gets involved in the whole thing with this, whatever this creature is. And I kind of like the premise of, you're this famous person, you have to be on, you have to be every day, you have to be, a certain way in public, and you're going to have all these people coming up to you smiling at you, right? Because they're happy to see you. And now they've spun that on its head, being like, well, actually, so I just thought that was kind of fun. So this trailer was cool. It showed a lot. It didn't show, I don't know, probably didn't show too much. I don't think it ruined too much, but it did show a bit. But it showed me enough to go, hell yeah, I can't wait to watch this happen again. It's very cool. Very cool concept. So yeah, if you like horror, check it out. But yeah, I can't wait to watch this. I might go to the movies and see this. We'll see. Mike, what did you make of this trailer?
I haven't seen the first one, but I know somewhat the premise of the entity and how it works. I really enjoyed the marketing for the first one because there was a lot of people being hired to go to like baseball games just to smile at the camera. So very, very good marketing ploy of doing that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it definitely got people like talking about it, bums on seats, and it inherits a second. So well done to them. Will I be watching this? I don't know. It was with the trailer. It did intrigue me for the premise because the first one was basically like suburbia, like just everyday people like going about their business and being in charge of this entity. And the second one, yeah, mad props for giving it a somewhat unique presence of having like a pop star trying to be trying to live their life, but as a pop star. So the mere presence, the mere like if you're being a pop star, you have to show a persona of yourself to your audience, and in that it's sort of fake. So it's sort of like the fake smile that you have is like, hey everyone, it's me, I'm famous and you love me, I get that. And there's actually dread behind that smile. It's like, oh my god, my back is sore, and you can't really let that go. So I kind of like that, and the juxtaposition of it being, well, this is sort of a fake smile as well because it wants to kill you. and all to do with fame and how audiences react to a famous person as well. It's you don't normally want to show that you that this person means someone to you. Like speaking as a fan to a star, it's like you did your work changed my life, and sort of that dynamic. I kind of get a kick out of it, and how that could sort of play within the movie. So yeah, I sort of got a lot out of it. So I might watch the first one while this one comes out, and I don't know when this comes out.
Well, let me tell you, Mike.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Yes, I shall.
Does he ever come?
Smile 2 will be out in cinemas on 17th of October, just in time for Halloween.
Let's all go to the movies together, including
Yes.
Fulya.
Yes.
Yep. Nope. Not happening.
Not even
Sorry.
if I smile.
Nope. Nope. Nobody.
It's one of my pleasant smiles.
I love it. I love it. All right, that's Trailer Park. We're done.
Woo.
Dunzo. Let's move on out, roll on out as we do, and straight on in to a quickie review.
Quickie review.
A quickie review that I hopefully think will just be quick because, damn, I don't really remember much of what happened on this week's episode of The Acolyte. I watched it the night it came out, and now I'm actually going through my reactions that I sent to my friend at the time so I can remember what the fuck happened. Yeah, I don't know about this show anymore, guys. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. It's supposed to be Star Wars. It's supposed to be better than this. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna keep watching. Because that's the kind of fan I am.
Yeah.
I suffer through the good stuff and the bad stuff. Not to say this is bad. It just, should be better. Yeah. So The Acolyte, episode 4, titled Day. The first episode, I think, in the run so far where they haven't had a slash in the title name. So that's interesting. I feel like next week's episode will be called Night, and I'm just gonna say it now because feels very obvious. But anywho, yeah, May's a confusing character to me. Because we just saw how last week, she hates, she wanted to kill her sister. She, hates the Jedi. And, now all this time has passed and she's under the tutelage of this master who is now being called Darth Teeth on the internet. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Because his helmet looks like teeth, obviously. That's a bit amusing. But, yeah. What was I saying? Distracted by the Darth Teeth. May. Everything kind of makes sense. And then now they're on the Wookiee planet and they're halfway, trying to get to the really cool Wookiee Jedi. And then she's just like, actually, I'm not going to do this. I saw Osha and it changed everything. And yeah, I'm out. Sorry. And I was watching and I'm just going, okay. Can we have a better explanation as to why, this show has gone out of its way to make you the antagonist, and now all of a sudden you've changed your tune, and it has not been done in a very interesting way that makes sense? I don't know. But anyway, that's strange. What other notes did I write down? My venting to my friend. Oh yeah, and then when she gets to the Wookiee and he's already dead, I'm like, well, it was very obvious, obviously, by the way he was in the chair, cliche, death. Sad that it happened off screen as well. Not a fan of that. But yeah, she was going to turn herself in, which I found really interesting as well. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It just, the whole thing doesn't really make sense. The only thing that kind of intrigues me is the fact that there's a theory that Jason from The Good Place, her kind of cute bumbling companion in this, there's a theory that he's actually the master. Kimir, thank you, I forgot his name. Kimir is apparently the master according to some theories online. That's Come here, be the bad guy.
I can.
Yeah.
I'm upside down. Woo!
I like his character. Like, he's interesting enough. I think it would be really lazy if he turned out to be the bad guy, the master. But it would kind of make sense because it was also a bit convenient. Like, okay, the master's just suddenly there too. Like, oh, okay. But maybe that's too easy if Kimia's the master. I don't know. But yeah, and then I don't get the whole thing with something to do with Osha, and I was gonna make a point about something to do with her in the jet. And I don't know, it's lost anyway. There was something else I was gonna bring up, and I actually have forgotten. So I apologize for my scattered brain. I'm not really invested in the show. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah.
I'm not
clicking.
really. It's not clicking for me. It's really not clicking for me. But I'm going to persevere, especially because, next week we're probably going to be switching this to popcorn culture. So, we'll see. But, yeah, I don't know.
More Doctor Who.
I would love to do more Doctor Who, actually. That would be swell. And let's open this Pandora bitch. Let's do it.
Let's see what's inside.
Let's see what's inside. Death and destruction, probably.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
Spoilers.
Yeah, I don't know. Can one of you guys turn me around on the Acolyte, or do you guys feel similarly that it's all a bit? I don't know. It's a bit. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just being harsh because it's very different. But I can appreciate The Last Jedi for what it was in terms of being different. But this is a whole nother bag of nuts. So I don't know. Fulya, how is the Acolyte going for you? How did this episode sit with you?
Yeah, I'm kind of confused about May and her thoughts and feelings. The way that she's moving forward and all that sort of stuff. Like, the fact that she's all of a sudden decided that she's not going to obey her master anymore is a bit, like, out of left field, I suppose. Like,
yeah.
where did that come from? And not to mention the fact that for most of the time when May and Camille were, as they were traveling over to the planet, and of course then sort of trekking through the forest to get to the Wookiee Jedi, they were mentioning, like, they were talking about the whole idea of how is she going to kill a Jedi without using a weapon. And whether or not that was a test from the master or not. And so that was just something that May kept thinking about and sort of decided that apparently it wasn't a test, but it was something else. I don't know if that has something to play with it. But yeah, like, it is a bit confusing as to why all of a sudden she changes her mind. And I don't know, maybe seeing her sister alive may have, I don't know, sparked something for her, potentially.
I mean, that's kind of what they're saying.
Yeah. I mean, I wish there was a little bit more, like, I don't want to be spoon-fed, but I want, like, a little bit more information.
Yeah, make it make sense.
When stuff like this kind of happens, like, even if it has to be that, May explains something, or maybe someone realizes, like, maybe Master Soul realizes why she's decided to change and and sort of says it out loud. I don't know. Like, I need a little bit of an explanation as to what just happened. Yeah, that kind of, I think that was the main thing that really threw me through a loop a bit. Other than that, though, I feel like this is probably, out of the 4 episodes we've seen so far, this one's probably the better of the 4 so far. In terms of, like, we're getting into the nitty-gritty. We've got Osha, who I have a feeling she wants to be part of the Jedi Order, Like she wants to become a Jedi, but she doesn't.
Well, that's what I don't get, is because like she wanted to when she was a kid, and they showed us that last week. But then going into that episode, we knew that she left the council. She was being trained, and she left. And then now we're knowing all this information. It does, you're right, Fulia, seem like she wants back in, but she also doesn't. It's very, it's very
She's
all over the
undecided,
place.
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not quite sure what's happening either. But
yeah,
it's sort of like we're getting a bit more action. We're getting a bit more, maybe a little bit more of an explanation about the story. I feel like maybe because of the fact that it's such a slow start in the way that they're telling this story is probably why a lot of people aren't really holding on with this series. I have a feeling that we're gonna get a lot more of an explanation maybe in the next episode, maybe the next two. So I didn't actually mind this episode as much, this like compared to the other three. But yeah, no, it's like we'll still like obviously we're still gonna watch it. I want to see it through and see where it goes, and I hope they have a good ending for this season, hopefully. But yeah, like the other thing is though, the master, the Acolyte master, that I really want to know who it is. That's why I'm still holding on, because we still don't know anything about this person. And they were the ones that ended up killing the Wookiee Jedi. I have a feeling that master knew that May was going to change her mind, and that's why he did it anyway. Or they, because I don't know if it's a he or she. So they ended up killing the Wookiee Jedi because they knew that they had a feeling that May wasn't going to do it. So, yeah, that was interesting. But the other thing is, like, the whole saying kill a Jedi without a weapon, but then being a hypocrite and doing the opposite and just killing with a weapon anyway. Like, makes no sense. So, I want to know what the whole point of that killing a Jedi without a weapon thing. I have a feeling it's got something to do with the Force. Like, if that's the way you're going to be killing a Jedi without a weapon, they mean like Force choking or something to kill someone. But yeah, like I need more information now.
Yeah. Agreed. Mike, how about you? How did this go for you?
And I'll keep this brief. I think this show would have benefited of having all the episodes released at once, because I feel like we basically needed all the information like at once to actually get it. Because
I agree.
If it feels like this probably was meant to be a movie, but they've like say, oh, we'll just make it into a series and we'll stretch it along. But there's nothing really engaging yet, because it is out of left field. And yes, I do enjoy the fact that it is something different, but it's not quite clicking as well. And like at the end of this episode, I sort of got, let's get into it now. Let's
same.
Figure this out. But it took this long to actually get there. It's like, and that's what the frustration thing is of coming into this. I wanted to like it, but at the moment it's kind of a bit of a mixed bag, and the choices are a bit strange and weird, and the discourse on the internet is fucking stupid of everything that's going on. Start off as like, you can't have fire in space. It's like, have you not seen Star Wars? There is fire in space. See any movie, there's fire in space. The Naboo cruiser gets shot and there's a fire spark, and R2 has to fix it. You know, there's fire in space. It's not necessarily real. Stupid. And and the biggest thing at the moment is we get a cameo, our first like little cameo in this show. Moody or whatever he's
Kiadi Mundi.
Kiadi Mundi. Get born on a Monday. Solomon Grundy. And a lot of people are, well, not a lot of people, it's just the people say, oh, it can't make sense because he wasn't around then. It's like, where is that written? In this book. It's like, do you see that? Legends. That means it can be made up. But he said the Sith has been around for a millennia. It's like, we haven't clarified that this is the Sith yet. And this is the reason why I want to watch all of it at once so I can actually make up my decision if I like this or not.
Yeah.
Anyway, and yeah, it's just, and a lot of the discourse, and I'm getting to see a lot of like main critiquers of this just coming out and saying, and not necessarily ignoring the fact that the Star Wars fandom is toxic. I mean, they tend to like ignore the fact, but now they're sort of getting into it as like, this is ridiculous. This is supposed to be enjoyable, and you are not making it enjoyable to watch Star Wars anymore because there's no real critique of art anymore, because you are basically using this as a tool to your own agenda. You don't like the fact that there's colored people in space, and what the hell? Anyway, I won't go into it because it's stupid and annoying, and even the media is coming out. I mean, I'm having a look now. Even Forbes says the Acolyte episode 4 controversy is too absurd to be believed. You're just stupid now. Everything is stupid. You're not, and now you actually have to have the caveat of saying, this is a legitimate criticism. I'm not liking it because of who's in it.
No.
And who's making it. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous out there. It's 2016 all over again. It's Gamergate. Jesus Christ. Everything swings and roundabouts. But as I said, I won't make up my real decision on the show until I actually watch the entire thing. And that's the thing.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah.
I came in to like it, and it's just, it's okay. I mean, people are complaining that, there's witches. There can't be a coven of witches in Star Wars. It's like, what are you talking about? Jedi
not watch
Knights.
Ahsoka.
Yeah, there's Jedi Knights. There's Queen Amidala. There's knights and queens and witches. This is fucking fantasy in space, you dumbasses. I'm done.
Yeah. Yep. I love that. Thank you, Mike. That was very well said. Very well said.
Spoken
all right.
as a
Well,
true man.
a true
Allow
man.
me to mansplain my feelings.
Well, we'll be back next week for our thoughts on episode 5 of The Acolyte. We're halfway through now.
And talk about the next thing that they're going to be pissed off with.
Yes. We'll see what happens. Okay. Well, you know what time it is.
Yes, let's do it.
Time for the moment, segment, section, the part, the place, the spot in the show that we like to call...
It's Doctor Who. It's Doctor Who. Talking Who. Pop culture.
Hey,
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. Hey, not affiliated with Gary Glitter. Anyway.
No. Yes, it's pop culture time. It's Talking Who time. And it's here, the finale to series 1 of the new Who. Episode 8.
Series 14.
Empire.
Series 14.
Series 14. Empire of Doom.
Death.
Yes. The
Empire
second
of Death.
Empire of Death. Oh, I wrote Doom?
You're at Doom.
Death.
Sorry, I just picked the mic real bad.
Call yourself-
Empire of Death. Well, look. Clearly I'm doom spiraling then.
Shut up.
Sorry. Empire of Death. Empire of Death, guys. Sorry. Sorry, Russell T. Davies. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. He's pissed me off this week. Anyway.
Ooh.
Oh. Foreshadowing? Maybe.
Foreshadowing.
Ooh, we'll get into it.
We will get into it. Okay. So, overall thoughts this episode. A very good end, I think, to the first season. I think last week's episode was probably the best one of the season. Last week was just was ramping up. It was just go. It was really good on diving into the mystery and everything, what's going on with who and blah 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 blah. And this week, the payoff was interesting. Everything made sense, but you kind of had to, at least for me, had to sit with it for a second and mull it over my brain and go, oh, that's what he means. Okay, I guess. It was fine. Like, I don't hate the fact that it was a bit thinky and conceptual in terms of how Sutek was defeated and all of that, and the stuff with Ruby's mum and all of that. But we'll get into that, of course. But yeah, there were some great moments in this episode. Some spectacular set pieces with action and with visual effects. Performances top notch as usual. And yeah, pretty harrowing at times. But cool. But cool. I mean, I like reliving my Avengers Infinity War fears from 2018. It's fine. We can go there.
Back when it was called dusting.
Dusting, yes. The coin.
I still use that word when I was watching this show.
Yeah. Yeah. Dusting. They all got dusted. Oh Lord. But yeah, I'm in terms of just looking back on the whole episode and then the whole season, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I've enjoyed myself. I enjoyed this finale. It very much felt like watching, and I'm so glad I've seen like Russell T's original run of Doctor Who now, because I can actually kind of speak on this a bit. But like, it felt like watching, the end of season 2 a bit, or like the end of season 3 is not really like that, but the end, like just some of the early stuff, like it just with the like the real world, it's set in London majority of, and those stakes are happening. Yeah, it was good. I'm happy. Fulya, how did this finale go for you?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a really good episode. I feel like we got a really good understanding as to everything that was happening, but then it still gave me like that tension feeling, with things happening, especially when things happen with Mal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Finally, Mel actually does something.
But then it also gave me like this really nice sort of cozy vibe of when we got that really small inside of the TARDIS with everything in it. And I said to myself, Michael is going to have a field day.
I know, same.
Every Easter egg in that TARDIS.
Can I just say, I have seen that before.
Oh.
That is the set that they use for Tales of the TARDIS.
Oh.
So when Russell T says the Tales of the TARDIS, where they bookend like specific stories of classic Who and put it together, that is canon. So therefore, that whole thing is canon because it's the same thing. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that particular sort of that set piece is something that I really enjoyed, even though I've never seen any of the classic Who, but I could still pick out certain things.
And
there.
yes, I was having a field
Yeah.
day.
Yes.
Can I just say, when, not to jump ahead or whatever, when Shooty shuts the door, that sound effect of the door shutting I squeed.
Oh, yeah?
I went, classic Hood sound effect.
That's great.
Loved it.
Yeah. I think we can go into depth in that a little bit later on. But yeah, just overall, it was, yeah. I really enjoyed this episode. There was a lot of tension, and the drama just kept piquing my interest. Yeah, but then when we got that fun sort of ending to it, I was just like, okay, that's when we get into the feels. Cool. Hit into the chest.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it.
Nice. All right, Mike. What did you think of this?
Overall, I did enjoy it. And yes, I had to sit with it and to figure out. It's like, was the payoff good enough? And I'm still saying yeah, but slightly deflated. But coming off like what I know and everything like that. But overall, it was a very enjoyable ending for especially from the Legend of Ruby Sunday, and how you watch that all together would be great. I did enjoy Mel and her contribution to it, because, as I said, it's the first thing that Mel has done. Essentially, she was brought on to Scream, basically, and she was quite famous. Like Bonnie Langford was quite famous before she was in Doctor Who, so it was sort of like a big name star entering Doctor Who. Because the ratings were a little bit down, because people were sort of saying, "Oh, Doctor Who's sort of getting it doesn't look good," considering the BBC is saying, just chuck a little bit of money into it, and they need more time to actually flush out some stuff. But here nor there. But I did enjoy that. The and the acting in it is absolutely top notch. I'm really, really excited of where Doctor Who is at the moment, where people are giving themselves all, and there's a lot of like acting chops within this. I'm really enjoying it. I'm still quite surprised that I'm actually watching Doctor Who in 4K, which is absolutely bizarre, considering its humble beginnings, and the visual effects was absolutely phenomenal. There's definitely money being thrown at it, like proper money, and visually it's absolutely stunning. And with the writing, okay. There's a lot of writing crutches I can actually see within, and it sort of annoyed me, but we got what we want. And not to skip ahead, but the overall story arc of characters was quite fitting, and it landed quite well.
Yes. Wow. Well surmised. Very good. Okay, so let's talk about the opening of this episode. We pick up immediately where we left off last week, and things turn to shit. We talked about dusting already. This is a big dust fest that just happens.
A storm.
Yeah. Dust storm, even. There you go. A sandstorm, if you will. And and it was quite, upsetting to just start to see, like, and I will humble myself before you both and say, yes, Susan Twist's character was another acolyte of Sutek, wasn't actually Sutek like I thought, so I bow down.
We're allowed to have mistakes.
We are allowed to have mistakes. That's why they're called theories.
And my mistakes were actually quite bad, apparently.
That's okay. It's fine. But yes, I just wanted to point that out. but I kind of okay with it. Like it worked. Like having because we'll go into it shortly when they talk about the twist with Susan Twist. You know, in a sec. But yeah. So this moment of just dusting starts to happen, and then we cut to, you know, obviously where the doctor and Mel have taken off. You know, they're on the bike and the dust is chasing them, and that was pretty cool. That as like a shot, going through the London streets, and then we cut to Unit, and then obviously Sutek's actually there, attached to the TARDIS, and what's her face is the Harbinger is doing her dustiness there, and they try and take her down, and it doesn't work, and then she dusts anyway, and then I was so caught. I fell for everything, man. I was so caught up in all of this that like the dust's going around killing everyone. It killed Sergeant Sexy, and I was like, oh no. And then I was like, no. You are not taking Kate Lethbridge Stewart from me. No.
There will be birds.
I was fucking like yelling at the television. And then she died, and I was like, I'm gonna cry. But then, it keeps going on, and then everyone's dead. It's like Ruby's poor mum doesn't make it home. We get that eerie scene with Mrs. Flood and Cherry Sunday. Everyone's dying, and it's like, okay, well, this is all going to be reversed at the end of the episode, so I'm gonna rein in my grief now. It's okay. It's fine. I can stop crying. But I think they executed that whole sequence very well. Because it pulled, a rug over my eyes for a second, made me go, oh wait, are there actual stakes here going on? I mean, there are stakes, yes, but is there going to be a lasting effect from this whole thing? I don't know. How did that all go with you, Fulya? Did you get as caught up in it as I did, or?
Yeah, look, honestly, when the sandstorm decided to come through, I knew that I knew that it was going to take everyone out. Like I didn't expect anyone to survive it. It didn't look like that anyone from Unit was able to escape. So there was like no doubt. As soon as I saw everybody behind Kate start getting dusted and then getting closer to her, and I'm like, yeah, okay, she's not surviving either, and she's saying giving the doctor her goodbye message, and it was nice working with you.
Yeah. Oh.
So that because I was also the same. I was like, no, what? Wait, no, Kate, what? No. I was also in that same sort of like reaction when that all happened and came down. And I was like, oh no. I was very sad too. But yeah, overall, like in terms of that sort of stuff happening, it was very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's
harrowing.
Yeah, because it's like everyone was dying, and the Doctor and Ruby had to go, and Mel had to go to the ends of the universe to get away from it all, to be able to survive, which was really interesting. And the other thing that I will mention now that I'm thinking about it, and while it's fresh in my mind, when they go out into space and they look down on Earth, why is it that every time something happens to Earth, Australia's the first thing that pops up, right?
I mean,
we're the ones going down.
Geolocations.
It's either one on one hand they're like, hey, here you go, Aussies, have a cameo, and then it's also like, remember where you belong, convicts. Like, I don't know, maybe it's.
Feel like the only reason why it always sort of the Earth ends up on with Australia being shown is probably because it's the one island or country that looks like it you can identify the Earth from the shape of our country.
Yeah,
sort of.
Very
I
easily.
suppose.
I'm spitballing here, but maybe because it could be like for us, it's Australia, but if it's on in another country, maybe they show their own country, like Europe or anything like that. Not proven. I don't know, like different versions.
It could be a thing.
Yeah.
Something else has done that before. Didn't for Captain America Winter Soldier, I know it's different, but that list
Still
he had in
Disney,
his
yeah.
notebook, it was every country it was released in. It had some American references, but then it also had local references in it.
Try Tim Tam Slam.
Yeah, so the Australian one had Tim Tam Slam. I think it had Steve Irwin in it. Something else, like, yeah.
ACDC.
I don't know.
Icon
I
stuff.
feel like this would have been an editing nightmare if that was the case, or at least publishing, if because all you had to do was change out the country. But yeah, I don't know. It just felt like we were being targeted, and I'm just like, why is it always us?
Yeah.
Fully took it personal.
Oh dear, we're fucked.
Yeah.
We're getting dusted.
Mm.
Yes. Mike, how did the opening go for you?
Got the heart pumping, which is good, and getting everything. And when Kate went down, it's like, bullshit. It's too early in the episode to care.
Smart.
Like, not to go ahead, I was actually more concerned about what Mel was going through. It's like, oh shit, are they really going to kill off Mel? That's some fucking balls if they do that. But yeah, and then Kate, and then everyone, and then Ruby's mum, Claire. I thought, what's going on? Come on, you're gonna say everything is shit. The whole world's dead, and it's gonna be up to the Doctor to save it. You're doing New Earth, aren't you? Martha's gonna have to go around and tell everyone who the Doctor is, and it saves the day. Riding crutch. Okay, fine. How's this gonna solve? How's it gonna solve itself? So yeah, that was my first thing. It's like, okay, cool. But yeah, and after that, when Shooty's just yelling to the earth, it's sort of got me. So that was the thing. But not to skip ahead or anything like that. And overall, I'll put this here of where my thought process was. This could have been fitting for being at the end of the previous episode, where Sutek comes back, and we'll probably get into Sutek later, especially with you guys because this is the first time you're seeing him. It's like, oh yeah, it's just a giant dog that's on top of the TARDIS. Okay, who is this guy? What does he mean? What does he mean in the all over things? And then they do the Death of Sand or whatever it's called. I can't remember. Something a bit hokey, but yeah, it's Doctor Who. And then everything was sort of dying and everything, and then at the end of the episode, then you can have Kate dying, then everyone dying, and then holy shit, what is going on? And the only ones who survive are Ruby, Mel, and the Doctor. What to do? Yeah, that could have been more impactful, and then we could have had the sort of time jump of the 5 years later after the dusting.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what we got. So overall, yeah, it was a good, impactful start to actually get you going of the previous week of holy shit, what does this mean? So yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's a really good point about having this maybe be the cliffhanger ending of the penultimate episode. I feel like they must have just been going for let's kick off the finale with a big spectacle. Yeah. I guess. But I think it definitely would have been more jaw-dropping if they'd done it the week before.
Yeah. I think
for sure.
Probably people banking on is who's this threat? Why is he threatening? I don't understand. like for us, like old school Whovians, it's like holy shit, Sutek's back. But new viewers is like, oh, who the fuck's that?
Yeah.
Who?
Who? Yes. Well, speaking of Sutek, before Mel, Ruby, and the Doctor are, sent in this memory TARDIS into space, we get a bit of an explanation for things. When they're in the time window. And Sutek appears, and it kind of does his mustache twirly. This is my plan. This is what I did all along. I'm interested to talk to you, Mike, about the fact that the reveal of the fact that Sutek was actually attached to the TARDIS for fucking a long time.
Since his original episode.
Yeah, that seems huge. Like a huge thing for them to, have the guts to do and be like, okay, we're gonna maybe kind of retcon some things here, potentially. I don't know. Maybe. I was gonna ask you about that stuff. But I found that really interesting. And I also really liked the fact that every time the Doctor landed somewhere, a new Susan Twist was born. And how that just sort of gradually, clearly things just got worse and worse and worse and more and more and more and more and more. And we're kind of building up to this moment where it kind of peaked with Susan Triad, and that was the moment. And then the fact that, Sutek knew to use Susan as a name to get the Doctor's attention as well was really interesting. But I like this Susan Twist reveal because it's and when the Doctor has that, when they're in space and before he breaks down and screams and shit, when he's like, this is my fault. I just wanted to have fun. I just wanted to have a good time and see new worlds and appreciate new life and all of this. And here I am bringing death now to everything. I kind of really loved that as the Susan twist of it all, the explanation. I think for me, in terms of the reveals in this episode, that was probably my favorite out of the bunch. What did you make of it, Fulya?
Yeah, honestly, when Sutek was explaining everything, and then mentioned the whole idea that with the thought of Susan Twist being born wherever the Doctor landed in time and space, it sort of it sort of had me sort of sit there and think. It's like that if that's how Susan Twist is, that's a lot of iterations of Susans, because he's landed in so many different eras and places and in time and space and all that sort of stuff, and so with that amount of landings, essentially, it's interesting how Sutek managed to gain more power over the years, considering the fact that he was locked away the last time, and I'm not sure how, even though I think they tried to explain it, I think, in the episode, saying that he was he kind of locked away, Michael, or
essentially he was traveling in a time hole, time thing, time vortex, from his place in Egypt to England, basically, and so the Doctor changed it so the time window it took give or take 2 minutes to get from A to B. So, but he sort of stretched that to 10,000 years or whatever, how long he figured Sutek would last and die of old age through in the time vortex. But it turns out in this, he he was floating in the time vortex, and then the Doctor gets up and leaves, and then Sutekh sees the TARDIS, grabs hold,
Latches on,
and comes eporeal, basically, and becomes part of the TARDIS.
Yeah.
Since that episode, and then all through that starts getting stronger and stronger. Yeah,
and that to me, that's a really interesting premise for an antagonist. Like the fact that he's been taken out to dry in space essentially, and now he's like, you know what? I'm gonna get my revenge. I'm going to attach myself to the TARDIS and build up my power that way. And the reveal of it all in this episode was really, really interesting. So, I kind of like that about Sutekh. But the design itself of Sutekh was something that, because I also watched the little, it's like a 10-minute thing on the Doctor Who YouTube channel, where they explain how they came up with the design and concept of Sutekh, in terms of for this particular episode, and the way that they came up with it was really cool. They used VR to draw him out to see how he would sit and wrap around the TARDIS, or how he would fit in within the space and all that sort of stuff. So it was really interesting to see how they brought Sutekh to life through the design process, using, and the fact that they said that they use a VR headset to draw it all out, and then put it into to do the CG for it all. It was actually really mind blowing how they brought him to life, and the different designs that they came through, they drew up till before they got to the final design of Sutekh. Which they said they didn't want Sutekh to look Egyptian. They wanted him to look ancient, essentially, because they wanted to. Yeah, an ancient being. They wanted to take away the fact that he was an Egyptian god. They just wanted him to look old.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's sort of like that sort of ancient alien sort of thing, and people would have worshipped them as gods because what they looked like. Like hieroglyphs have flying saucers and that sort of thing. So and not necessarily being actual Egyptian gods. They're the idea of it, because they came first.
Very true. Nice. Cool. Mike, what did you think of the Susan twist?
I thought it was good. There's no real retcon or anything like that. Kind of interesting for what happens to the TARDIS within the canon. Sometimes it explodes, sometimes it disappears, and how that happens. And a lot of people are theorizing that, well, when in the giggle, Shooty hits the TARDIS and makes 2 for 14 and 15. So does that mean a bit of Sutekh on the 14th Doctor's TARDIS, because there's another TARDIS going around? Does that mean a thing? Who knows? And who knows if that's going to be explained? So probably not. Don't worry about what I just said.
Great.
Because this is Doctor Who, damn it. But with the Susan twist of it all, I thought it was a very interesting idea of this character popping up all the time. And apparently it's got nothing to do with Mavity. So annoyed about that. It's like, damn, my theory didn't come true. I'm mad about it. I made the perfect episode in my head, and it didn't come in fruition. Now I think the episode's bad. No, I'm just a normal Doctor Who fan.
Normal Doctor Who fan.
Yeah. yeah, so what we got was a very interesting idea of how Sutek, the god of death, created life in order to make death. So, and that sort of forms itself into what the Doctor has to do at the end. Spoiler. So I like that juxtaposition of their overall thing, and yeah. I was going to say stuff about Sutek, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. We can keep going on. Maybe we should talk a little bit about the memory TARDIS. I kind of liked how the Doctor kind of explained how it could come about. Like because that then tied into a lot of the conceptual stuff I was hinting at earlier with, stuff that happens later, but just like the power of thought and memory to kind of manifest something.
And how memory can shape... No. Your emotion can and shape your memory. Because you're not necessarily remembering the memory, you're remembering your emotion to the memory.
How
that sort of shapes. That would explain a couple of things I have an issue with the time window. Anyway.
Oh, do we want to get into that before we get into...
involves her mum.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. All right, cool. Very, very good. The memory TARDIS. I kind of liked it as this kind of cramped space. Like the fact that we're so used to seeing the TARDIS as this massive, thing. And the fact that this one is just so chocker full of so many references and Easter eggs and little bits and bobs that have to do with all the other Doctors and everything else, and just random things, like it just kind of made sense. So I kind of liked that conceptually and aesthetically. It made sense to be small, and I kind of really liked the scenes in the TARDIS here as well, like as they were trying to figure out how to keep it together for one. That was a kind of cool tense moment. But then like having those slower moments of figuring out what to do, and the Doctor and Ruby with the screen and stuff, and of course Mel having a journey down memory lane was really, really nice. There was just lots of ticks from me during those scenes inside that TARDIS, and how it was able to be used at all in this episode. It was very, very good. And then how 73 yards came back into it.
Yeah.
That was cool. Standalone.
I had to rewind it for a second. I wanted to double check that she said 73
Yeah.
yards. I'm like, is that what she said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Echoes.
Yeah.
She remembers echoes.
She remembers echoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was
right.
Yeah. You were right.
But
it was very cool.
I did say I enjoyed 73 yards of just standalone film that doesn't really add much to the overall arc. I did say that.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah. I kind of like that rug pull as like a moment of actually this will now inform the conclusion of the show. I thought that was very clever. It was lots to love about the memory TARDIS and everything around it. I think. What did you think, Fulya?
I like the memory TARDIS, like the fact that they were in this cramped little space. When the first moment you walk in and it's just like it's small, and Russell T. Davis mentioned that he wanted it to feel a bit claustrophobic. In terms of like designing this particular TARDIS, and it's really cool to see all of the different bits and pieces that they've brought in, like all the different props from different iterations of the TARDIS from different Doctors, and memories of other companions in there as well, and like the different iterations, the screwdrivers and their outfits, like their accessory pieces and whatnot, like that scarf and then the sweater and a lot of different hints and nods to classic Who as well, and the design of it sort of they've brought in bits and pieces from the old iterations of the TARDIS into it as well. So it's actually really cool the way they designed it. I like the fact that that it was a small space. It felt a bit more intimate as well, with all three of them in there. The thing was, though, like, I think Mel was being affected by Sutek, though, but she wasn't showing it, and so, but I feel like the Doctor may have picked up on it earlier on, before they ended up landing in the building that they ended up in, and then
43.
Yeah, and then ends up holding her hand to confirm, I would say. So yeah, it was a really cool looking internal space of the TARDIS, and that must have been a logistical nightmare in terms of filming, because there wouldn't have been much space in there for anyone, and I think only one cameraman handheld was able to get in there to do handheld moments in the TARDIS. So it was really cool, though. I really enjoyed watching that scene.
Nice. Thank you, Fulya. Mike, please delight us with your thoughts on the memory TARDIS. How quickly did your eyes light up at everything you were taking in?
Well, yeah. Considering I've sort of seen it before with the Tales of the TARDIS, and when I watched that, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. That like sort of like putting all like different props or anything like that. But in this, they've sort of like stopped and actually looked at most things, and just like, and avid viewers would actually get a kick out of it, and I did too. Like, there's different parts of like the like different TARDIS consoles as well, which is cool. Like, you definitely saw the 11th Doctor's iteration of the TARDIS, and the 4th Doctor's TARDIS on top of the roof, and all these other ones, and yeah, it was such a feast, and it was quite warming to see Mel come in and actually been confronted with her memories as well. Like, she finds the multicolored coat of the 6th Doctor, and she falls asleep with the question mark vest from the 7th Doctor, and those were her doctors, and yeah, bit of a sweet thing as well, which is great. And like all the different sonic screwdrivers, and the head of K9 for some reason. It's like a bit morbid, but yeah, he's a prop as well and not a companion. So yeah, and an added thing, there was a mini jukebox as well. So there you go. There's something for Shooty as well. So I did enjoy it, and it would be a logistical nightmare of trying to film in that, of having 3 people in a cramped space and 1 cameraman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would have definitely been a bit challenging. Yeah. That's for sure.
A death trap.
A death trap.
And surprisingly smaller on the inside.
Indeed, smaller on the inside. Of course, the memory TARDIS was also the first place we started noticing things were a bit off with Mel, wasn't it? Sutek was worming his way in with her, which, set the alarm bells going off, which, wasn't great, because I think we can all agree we love Mel. We don't want anything bad to happen to her. So it was a lot to see this sort of stuff play out. But I kind of I don't know. I kind of liked how I don't know, the what was the actress's name again? I've already forgotten.
Bonnie Langford.
Thank you. I was like, it's something Langford. Bonnie Langford. I thought she gave a really strong performance as Mel went through the motions of being taken over and resisting and then being lost completely to Sutek. Like, that was all Like, I think she did a really, really cool job with that. And I really liked how, kind of kept us guessing as to, because at one point I thought Mel was gone completely because she just had this look on her face of like, oh, you're evil now, basically. But then it kind of was more like, oh no, actually, she's not really, you know. But yeah, I liked. No.
I Ray am now Vigo.
Exactly. Yes. Love a Ghostbusters reference. Yeah. So I thought it was cool. In that, the way that kind of all played out, and like you said earlier, Mike, like giving Mel something to do, was really cool.
I think the doctor said that the moment that he touched her hand, she died. Like, because it was so cold. Yeah, because it was so cold. Like, she was dead because Sutek took over.
Yeah. It was really, really kind of eerie and as well, and hearing that and that moment of realizing that we'd lost her too.
Yeah,
was like, oh fuck, okay, great. Everybody's doomed. It's just awesome. It's just awesome.
Empire of Doom.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll cop that. Empire of Doom.
Nice callback.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm here for.
That's what he's here for. Yeah. And then then we get the, twist with the doctor actually, realizing that something was up and then I'm really glad the way that whole thing played out. I thought that was really cool because, we're getting this tension build up with them trying to find Ruby's mum. Like, this has got to be the answer. Like, the doctor's like so certain, like, Sutek's keeping us alive. He's keeping you alive for a reason. There's something about this woman that is throwing him off. So I kind of liked that whole thing. And then, and then the moment Ruby, I thought she was, they sold it so well. I thought she was going to give up the bloody name, and I was going to be like, what the fuck's going on here? But when she just smashed it on the floor and said, "You're a god of nothing," I was like, yes, let's go.
That was a good scene.
It was a great scene. Yeah, I really loved it. The way that kind of the beginning of the end of Sutek sort of all began. Like, it was a very good run-on of moments, well put together. Fulya, what did you think about the stuff with Mel and the beginning of Sutek's downfall?
I knew there was definitely something up when she was a lot more subdued and just very quiet, and the fact that she was also saying how sleepy and exhausted she felt, and I'm like, oh no. At first I thought she was going to be the next to be dusted, because that's kind of where my thought process went. But then we find out that she's so cold that she's taken over by, it's like she's possessed by Sutek, and then that was it was a bit sad to find out that she essentially got killed off by a god, essentially. But it was like she played that really well. Like the fact that she was this whole exhausted look on her, like she was still listening in and keeping an ear out, but then just all of a sudden she goes outside and is like freezing because I think Ruby brought on the snow from some memory that she was thinking about, I think. If I recall. But yeah, no, it was interesting. And then obviously when we got to the point where they were teleported back to the present time where Sutek was, after Mel had her transformation, And yeah, look, honestly, I had a feeling that Ruby was going to turn and be like, no, screw you, I'm not giving you the name, sort of thing. And then that's where everything was going to continue from. I had a feeling that was going to happen. So I was kind of like, it was a gut feeling. Like, I knew it was coming. So I wasn't too surprised when it happened. But it was still really cool to see how it turned out. But, you know, the way that they were just selling the fake out of, no, Ruby, don't tell him the name, blah blah. But yeah, I don't know. I like, it was good. It was really good, but I kind of, I knew it was coming. Yeah.
See, I'm such a sucker, man. I'm such a sucker. It's ridiculous. I just fall for this shit so easy. Oh man.
Like, it would have surprised me even more if she actually gave the name.
Yeah,
that would have surprised me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no. Smart for you. Very smart. Mike, what did you think of the way this sort of climax began with the episode?
Yeah, with the finding of the name for Ruby's mum, and it started snowing. There's still no explanation of that.
No, it's one loose end they did not tie off,
which is kind of an annoyance considering what we know who the mum is, and maybe with my theory, it's got something to do with Mrs. Flood, especially at especially at that ending where she's in the snow and it's snowing. Kind of weird, and yeah, and Ruby says something that is this when she says this doesn't make sense, and says, "Ooh, what's it going to be?" It's like, who's it going to be? So therefore, she probably knows the person, or was I sort of right that Ruby is her own mum, and we're thinking of an Ouroboros out of left field, but not out ordinary for Doctor Who. Yeah, and it was a real kick-ass moment that Ruby did of just basically spitting in the face of a god, and it's like, you are a good companion. I like you, and I'm very sad that you're no longer going to be doing this until next season, because she's in a couple of episodes maybe, or probably in the Christmas episode. I don't know. It could be just the Doctor by himself. I don't know. We shall see. But that was definitely a good companion moment, and sort of a punch in the air sort of aspect of saying, fuck you, we're going to be doing this because we've worked it out, because all we have to do is a whistle.
And a leash.
All the mundane things.
All the mundane things. Yes. Cool. Well, I guess, we can just talk about that situation with the whistle and the and the leash, because they end up dragging Sutek through the time vortex as their way of destroying him and setting everything right again. As I was watching it, it felt very Superman the movie. like I'm going to fly around the world to turn back time and everything's going to be fine. I don't actually have a huge problem with that. I understand it's very much an Ex Machina sort of a situation, but it's fine. This was okay. I had to just sit with it. It's like I was alluding to earlier. I had to kind of sit with it for a bit to go, okay, so they're kind of dragging him through the vortex like this means that it kind of death cancels out, and therefore there is life again. That's I guess.
If you kill the
That's
main
basi-
zombie, all the other zombies turn back.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So it worked fine enough. I mostly just really liked the visuals in this sequence, like seeing that shot of Sutek being dragged by the TARDIS through the vortex. I really liked this panning shot that they kept doing where it's the camera's on the Doctor and it's going around the TARDIS, and you can see inside the TARDIS behind him, and you can see the vortex around and everything, and it looked so good. Like, one of the things you notice watching Doctor Who is like you can see the green screen sort of going on when you see the inside of the TARDIS in and you're in a different environment, like it's but here it was seamless. So it's like you said before, Mike, like they've got the big bucks.
Yeah.
Spending the big cash.
And only in the UK you get to see this on the big screen, and it would have been phenomenal to watch that.
Oh.
Yeah, they had the Legend of Ruby Sunday, and then
Empire of Death.
Empire of Death.
Yeah, they did a double header at the cinema.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That would have been great to watch, but now that we're part of the rest of the world, our distributor is now Mickey Mouse.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you. I really.
Have I told you that I actually watched the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who on the big screen?
I think so, because I feel like I remember you talking about it, or I remember seeing that it was being shown at cinemas.
Yeah.
I feel like. Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah. That's so cool. That would have been wild.
Well, I watched it in the morning, and then I watched it on the big screen. I thought, and I think it was in 3D. I can't remember.
They're big.
It was back with the 3D craze. Yes, and the vortex was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so good. But seeing everyone come back was great, and everything's right with the world. Even the guy from last week that walked behind the TARDIS, he came back to life.
Colonel Winston Chidozi.
Yes, he was cool. I'm glad they brought him back.
Yeah, I was like, yes, he's back. I cheered.
Guess who's back?
Yeah,
back again.
Hey.
That was really cool. Yeah, I liked seeing everyone return and be all happy and whatnot. Mel came back as well, and and
Susan.
And Susan Triad gets to live. All the Susans get to live.
Gets to live.
Everybody lives. Yeah, everybody lives. Kate comes back, and her and Sergeant Sexy are holding hands. So some. Little some.
And Rose. We forgot to mention Rose.
Yes, Rose is in this episode again, and she died and she came back.
Yes.
So, very
Why
good.
are you here?
She works for
Unit
Unit
for some reason.
Isn't she canonically 15?
She's young, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
she's in high school.
I mean, you do have a 13-year-old scientific advisor, so there you go.
Yes.
Who
yeah.
A laser gun installed into his little walker, which is amazing. All you see him is just going, no.
That was cool. Fulya, how did the ending go for you? Did you get the whole, like, how they were restoring things, how they were killing Sutek?
Kind of. I had a moment of like wondering, how does it cancel out death when you're killing death, and then like I don't know, for me it kind of didn't make sense that if you kill death then you bring life.
It's my mantra. 2 wrongs always make a right.
Yeah. Yeah, that moment where the doctor had turned around and said to Ruby, "Now I have to be the monster." And then I was like, "Oh yeah, he's doing something that he doesn't like doing, which is killing something, like killing a living being, but he kind of has to do it because it's death."
Yeah. Time Lord victorious.
Yeah. Even though he didn't like doing it, he kind of had no choice.
Yeah.
What was cool about that whole scene of, Sutek being dragged through the time vortex was the fact that the claws were dragging along, I'm going to say the walls of the vortex, I suppose.
Yeah.
And sort of ripping through like a rift in the skies of wherever they were traveling through. Which kind of looked really interesting because then you'd see the time vortex through these cracks and
yeah, very Spider-Man No Way Home ending.
Yeah, I'm like, that's the second Marvel thing they're referencing / ripping off this episode.
Yeah. No, it was really cool. I liked that whole sort of sequence, but it was also very, like, you can see it from just by looking at the doctor and how, like, he hated doing it, but he didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
And Shooty did such a great job with all that. Obviously he's doing such a fantastic job as a doctor in general.
He's awesome.
He's doing so well. So yeah, like that whole scene of killing off Death was really cool, and yeah.
Worked for you.
Yeah,
Nice.
it worked for me.
Nice. Mike, what about you? How did it go down for you?
As I said, I really enjoyed the spectacle of it, and how everything just went like crazy, like leading the dog for another ride into the vortex, and then I sort of went, okay, we're doing the same thing as Pyramids of Mars, aren't we? We're putting him back into the vortex, but this time he explodes. Okay, cool. A little bit different, but it's the same thing. And I was hoping for something different. And I was hoping for like a god on god battle. And I knew I wasn't probably going to get that because they killed off Mrs. Flood when she when she dusted. I thought she would be the key to get rid of Sutek because she knows of Sutek and there was a plan from the beginning. Nah, that didn't come to fruition. Bugger. Okay, what are we going to do? Vortex again? Okay. But it looked pretty. So, as I said to you, Kendall, all those weeks ago, it could have been better at the end, and I'm slightly disappointed. But that's what a Doctor Who fan is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and here, mad props for for Gabriel Wolf coming back.
Yes.
In his 90s, doing the voice of Sutek.
Yeah.
And the voice of the
Very
Beast.
good.
It was great. It was so great. Just that gravitas of that voice, and just you can hear the age in his voice, but it doesn't really matter because it fits so well within the contrast of Sutek then and Sutek now, and he looks very different from his previous adventure, but yeah, and Shooty just knocking the ball out of the park with his monologuing, and yeah, I'll probably put this in here. For the Christmas special and other seasons, can we stop can we stop Shooty crying in every episode? I get it. He can act the hell out of. He can run rings around acting. I get it.
Yeah,
you can feel
yeah.
it. It's emotional and it's uplifting, but not every episode.
Yeah,
Savor it, please.
Yeah, I was noticing that too. I'm like, he's. I mean, yeah, fair enough if he's, he's an emotional doctor. If he's, like you just said, he's feeling it.
Yeah.
But yeah, tears need to mean, like, if he's crying, it needs to be like, oh fuck, like you fucking like in the Fine Time episode, like the tear that comes down and the way that he reacted there, I'm like, that was brilliant. But then like to kind of go back to that well so often since then, has kind of felt like it takes away from the impact of the emotion that they're trying to convey. Does that make sense?
He shed a tear in Space Babies.
Oh yeah, for the boogeyman, right? I think it was.
When he was talking to the baby captain about.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So he's just been crying every episode then.
Except for the giggle.
Except for the giggle, he didn't cry in his first episode.
Yeah.
No.
So,
all right. Speaking of crying, savor it. Yes. Good. Well said, Mike. Speaking of crying, let's try and wrap this up because it is getting late. We're hitting the 3-hour mark. The reveal of Ruby's mum. I kind of like the fact that she was no one. At first I was unsure about it because I was just kind of expecting something big and something that would tie into everything in such a way that's like, oh my god, this is insane. But the way the doctor explained it is like, no, it's only important because we think it's important, sort of thing.
Subtle nod to the audience as well.
Yeah, Russell T Davies seems to do that a lot, huh? Like he really knows the fan base, I think.
I mean, you did that with Susan Triad, S Triad TARDIS.
Yeah,
we get that. Don't do it twice. 'Cause otherwise, it makes you look like you're making fun of us.
Right.
A little bit.
Yeah, fair. No, that's fair. That's fair. Well, I don't know. I liked it. If he's making fun of us, then that's not great. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of liked it as like this. It's this. Just we think it's important because it is important because we think it's important or whatever. So therefore, like it's just I don't know. It's just interesting. But from a certain angle, it might come across as half-assed or lazy, I guess, because that's what I thought at first. I was like, I don't know about this. But by the time it was done, and then I think that compounded with the moment that Ruby and her mum reunited, like that fucking moment, I was bawling. I was just like, wow. Like, yeah, that was intense. That was amazingly well performed by both those wonderful women. And yeah, I'm really glad they did that. I didn't want them to either. Like the doctor's like, don't go in there. Maybe she doesn't want to see you. Maybe she didn't contact you for a reason, and we should just let that lie.
I did like his reaction.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
It was a unique choice, and I like that. So,
yeah. It was they handled it all really, really well. I really liked it. And the knowledge that too that I guess I forget Ruby's adopted mum's name all the time. I know Cherry Sunday I remember, but I forget the mum's name.
Yep.
Carla.
I really liked the fact that they, we got to see them being okay with Ruby's real mum coming into the picture. And you know, there was no bad blood, like she was just part of the family. Yeah. And it was kind of a nice bookend for the church on Ruby Road as well, with like it beginning with the like the family tree show thing, you know, like the fact that when they were reading out what happened to her, like it's felt very much like one of those shows. So it was just sort of this kind of cool bookend moment, and it tied up everything really nicely. I don't know. I think in terms of the mum thing, it hit the landing with me. Not initially, but by the time the episode was done, I was like, no, this is cool. I'm okay with this. I'm not gonna rage about this.
Nice.
Fulya, what did you think of the mum reveal?
It was fine. I didn't mind it, and the fact that she got to see her, but I knew for a fact that Ruby wasn't going to be able to hold back, and she was going to want to speak to her and reveal herself to her. So when the doctor was mentioning the fact that, you know, maybe there's a reason why she hasn't contacted you in so long since she dropped you off, like she's probably happier now. So why would we want to, you know, why would you change that? Let her be the one that comes to you, sort of a thing. Don't force yourself into her life and sort of ruin it, which I kind of agree in a sense that, you know, if they haven't contacted you for a reason, then either they're not ready to contact you or they don't want anything to do with you. So that's kind of why I was a bit hesitant and was very like, I don't know how this is gonna turn out. When Ruby confronts her, but when it all came out to be all, you know, fine and hunky dory, and I was just like, yeah, I mean, they kind of cheesed it, but you know, it's fine. A happy ending is a good ending, I suppose. So like, I don't mind it. It's fine. I just kind of wish sometimes that, you know, she's seen her. That should have been enough. But I suppose for Ruby, it wasn't. She wanted the family experience, and she wanted to find out about her real mum and now her real dad, trying to get in contact with her dad as well.
William. Who was 15 at the time as well.
Yeah.
In 2004. So they were our age.
Yeah, basically. Which had me thinking the whole episode. I was like, oh, okay. Now I'm feeling old.
Yeah.
I'm feeling real old right now.
Yep.
You may feel old. I feel like it's a job opportunity.
A job opportunity.
I could be. I'm throwing it out there. Could I audition for Ruby's dad?
Oh, hell yeah!
Yes.
Hell to the yes, please do it.
Doctor Who producers at casting, please.
Yes.
Cast
yes.
me. An Australian living in the UK for some reason. Maybe that's why Ruby's mum liked me so much, because of my accent.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You don't know until you try. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And then,
I love that.
And then if I meet up with Ruby, then I'll give her the Shazam ending, and don't want to have anything to do with her.
Wow.
I can be the terrible
yeah.
dad. Which I was actually sort of expecting with Ruby's mum. It's like, oh, can we not?
I'm really glad they didn't do that.
Yeah. You haven't seen Shazam, have you, Fulya? Spoilers for that. Anyway.
All right. Well, Mike, do you have anything else to add about the mum reveal?
Yes. First, slightly annoyed because it was all built up to be all special, it needs to be something. And then mundane. It's like, okay, I can backpedal on that, and it's like that's good because that's the reason why I enjoyed Last Jedi is because of Rey being like just random person being attuned to the Force and puts back to like Jedis aren't necessarily special because of midichlorians or anything like that. It's and not lineage either, except somehow Palpatine's name got involved. Haha. But yeah, I really enjoy the fact that it just made even the most mundane can be special to you. So I can see what they were doing. And I could get behind that. What I couldn't get behind is pointing to the fucking sign.
Yeah.
That was bullshit.
That and the black cloak thing too.
Yeah,
like,
but
that doesn't,
how many
doesn't make
15-year-olds
sense.
would go around like...
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But-
That was a bit of a cop out.
But, you know, we're dealing with emotional memory and
Yeah.
emotional. It's like it's not necessarily the same thing. And maybe she was actually pointing to the sign because she saw the doctor and says, it's like, you saw me put the baby down. It's like, name her that contextually. Name her that sign. Ruby Road. There we go. Kind of clunky. And you can get away with it because it was such an emotional ending to the finally meeting for the first time after so many years. And yeah. And it being just emotionally charged and heartwarming for a very emotional journey that Ruby went through all throughout her tenure of Doctor Who. So, and I can sort of see why that her story finishes here, and the Doctor chose to is like, well, your journey now is with your newfound family, and you don't need me anymore. And that scene was phenomenal as well, and definitely harkens back to good departures of Doctor Who that actually is their own terms and not necessarily what happens to them. Like, yeah, Rose gets trapped on a different plane of existence. Martha leaves because couldn't really live with the fact the Doctor loved someone else and couldn't precipitate the relationship. That makes sense. Donna, and then it sort of got retconned as well, and now they're living together. It's like, cool. Yeah. So, and then spoilers for Amy, spoilers for Clara, spoilers for Bill. Spoilers everywhere, except for the fam for Jodie's tenure. And you're all caught up, Kendall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So overall, great adventures.
Great adventures, and next season maybe we'll find out what the fuck is up with Mrs. Flood.
Yeah, the White Guardian, which is a completely different thing that I can go on a tangent, but it's getting too late.
It is getting very late. We need to wrap this up. But yes, that was great. That was awesome. A lot.
Yeah. See
Love
you
it.
at Christmas.
See you at Christmas.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Apparently, Christmas episode is going to be hella hectic, but it's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to see the Doctor in his element when he's alone.
Yeah, Joy to the World, it's called.
Oh,
Ooh.
I don't know any of this. How did you guys find out about this?
The wiki.
Ah, you're doing a little
And
snoop
also
snoop.
videos.
Yeah.
I just haven't paid attention to anything.
That's right. And we're getting Nicola Coughlan from Dairy Girls, and now Bridgerton, the new season of Bridgerton.
Mm-hmm.
And Joel Fry, who's also been in apparently Game of Thrones. So there you go.
Nice.
That's all we know.
Okay.
And Shooty's coming back as well. So
Yes.
it's just going to be that.
Okay. Looking forward to that. Christmas time. That'll be a nice little treat from Santa. Thank you very much.
Santa comes up in future Doctor Who episodes. Spoilers.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Spoilers. All right, but until then, that was Popcorn Culture Talking Who. Our thoughts on the finale of Ncuti Gatwa's inaugural season as the Doctor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just saw the chat for YouTube, and yeah, someone's been chatting with us.
Someone's been chatting. We've just been ignoring them. I'm so sorry.
Scar 26.
Hello.
Yeah, Natalie Portman is amazing. Shan't we give it a chance? No bananas today either. When I did the no apples. Yes, we have no bananas. Don't let the bully your don't let the bullies you, buddy. Yeah, I think we're talking about Star Wars.
Yes, probably.
Yeah. So sorry.
We're usually much more on top of keeping an eye on the chat.
As soon as we get on that
Doctor Who.
Well, as soon as we get off Discord and actually go on to the streaming lab or whatever.
Other things. StreamYard.
StreamYard, that's it. And then we can all talk about it.
We'll all see it.
Yeah.
Yes. Things are in the works, potentially.
Yes.
So sorry. Thank you for watching and listening.
Yes.
And for commenting. Thank you. Thank you. So sorry. That's terrible. Well, it's the podcast that refuses to behave.
Exactly.
What can we say? What can we say other than one, two, you know what to do.
And
that was a
podcast called Fred.
Oh, lordy. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter for the latest Fred content.
If you like to listen to Fred the Alien, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.
If you'd like to watch Fred the Alien, you can head over to youtube.com/Fred the Alien Productions. And if you're watching us right now, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified of future goodness. And if you're watching us live over on Twitch, we really appreciate you. Follow us, twitch.tv/Fred the Alien Twitch.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes, I have been a Kendall Richardson.
I've been a Fulya and Michael.
And I've been the Ignora of comments, Michael Vista.
And
you've
just
experienced
experienced
a
podcast
called Fred.
Remember to eat beef and check the comments.
Yes, remember, Freddy lives, Loki dies, the Doctor is in, and Acolyte has gone astray, but hopefully it'll find its own day someday.
Hey, fingers crossed, hey.
Remember to look after yourself and your mental health.
Yes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting. Laters, Gators.
And see